A year ago, the Brampton Thunder finished last in the CWHL with 6 wins and 14 points. But an amazing draft and a commitment to team play has seen them shoot up the standings this season. Sitting at 14-5-1 after last night's heartbreaking shootout loss to Les Canadiennes, the Thunder have proven that they belong amongst the elite women's hockey programs in the world. Laura Fortino is sparkling this season with the Thunder as she leads their attack with 26 points in 20 games this year, while Jess Jones and Jamie Lee Rattray light the lamp with regularity. On the other side of the rink, the Canadiens are on fire, having won 10 in a row and 9 straight at home. Ann-Sophie was named the Player of the Month in January after picking up 15 points in 8 games, while Marie-Philippe Poulin leads all scorers in the CWHL. Brampton looks to continue its rise in the standings, needing a single point to move into a second-place tie with the idle Calgary Inferno, and that all-important home ice advantage in the opening round of the playoffs. All the while keeping within shooting distance of the Canadiennes as we reach the stretch drive of the 2015-16 season. Is live from the Complexe Sportif Bell in Brossard, Quebec. CWHL Live is on the air. Hello again, everyone. This is John Bauer along with Robin Flynn and our engineers Matt Copeland and our entire ISI Live crew here on the south shore of Montreal as the Canadiennes and the Thunder do battle this afternoon in what's shaping up to be a super Sunday in the CWHL. Robin, yesterday, Les Canadiennes eke out a 5-4 win in the shootout up in Boisbriand, which is on the north shore, and today we're on the south shore of Montreal in the rematch game.
It's nice to sort of have that donut effect surrounding the island of Montreal, letting people who don't live on the island get a chance to take in some Canadienne hockey. Bit of a scary game yesterday for Montreal. They found themselves trailing, which is something that doesn't happen often to this Montreal team, but thanks to some late heroics from Marie-Philippe Poulin, of course being the hero in the shootout to put Montreal out on top over Brampton. It remains to be seen what they'll be able to do today. I think what will be really interesting is to see which line Brampton decides to put out first. If they put out Jamie Lee Rattray, you can almost certainly bet that Carolyn Ouellette, the second line, will be out to counter her. That seems to be the shutdown line when Jamie Lee is playing, and Carol did a great job of shutting her down yesterday, holding her pointless. And
Rattray this season in 5 games against Les Canadiennes, just 2 goals. One of them on the power play back in the second game of the season at the Etienne Desmarteaux Arena. With 6 penalty minutes. And Brampton, that's one of the storylines that we're going to have to keep an eye on today, is the parade to the penalty box, because Brampton is the most penalized team in the CWHL.
Yeah, they're averaging about 6 penalties per game. Giving the other team the opportunity to go on the power play 6 times is something you don't want to do, especially against a team like Montreal, who has offensive power play firepower like Marie-Philippe Poulin. If she has advantage, if she has the ice space, she's going to take advantage and score.
Well, the Canadiens have had 31 power plays against Brampton this season in the first 5 games, and they're doing extremely well in the power play.
Yeah, that's something that is definitely Montreal's strength. They're really good with their special teams in general. Marie-Philippe Poulin leading the team this season with 6 power play goals against Brampton, so she's somebody that you're going to want to keep your eye on, and Brampton isn't want to give her any time and space. But as you mentioned, Brampton, the most penalized team in the league, so I don't expect that to change this afternoon.
Thus far this season, if we take a look at how things have gone, it's Rebecca Vint who is the leading scorer with 4 points against Les Canadiens, 2 goals and 2 assists. But she also has 16 penalty minutes against Les Canadiennes this season. But one of the things that I do expect to see is a little bit more firepower from Brampton this afternoon, especially from their big line.
Yeah, I mean, they managed to score quite a few yesterday. They managed to play with a lead for a good chunk of the game yesterday. Charlene Labonte, that was only the 3rd time this season she's given up more than 3 goals. That's not the kind of play that we usually expect to see from Charlie. She's going to get the start and goal again today, and I don't foresee Brampton being able to get more than 3 by her this time around.
And the other part is, and it's really interesting, with the sample size as large as it is, Charlie's save percentage dropped almost 30 points in 1 game by giving up 4 goals. That is a statement, a testament to how few shots against the Canadiens give up per game. And in fact, this year, if we take a look at Brampton's only averaging 19.4 shots a game against when they're playing against the Canadiens, whereas Montreal is averaging almost 39 shots per game against the Brampton Thunder. And Liz Knox is going to get the start tonight between the pipes for the Thunder. This will be her second appearance against Les Canadiennes. She lost 4-1 in her previous appearance. 5-2 in her previous appearance, giving up 4 goals, an empty netter. That coming on October the 18th back at the Etienne Desmarteaux Arena in Montreal. So That's the scene here in Brassard this afternoon. A great crowd, as always, on Super Sunday, especially with the Canadiennes playing in town at the same time. It's great to see such a great crowd of young people, families out here, as the Rattray line will get the start for Brampton. So we will know that the Caroline Ouellette line will be the starting line for the Canadiennes, and of course Charlie Labonte will be between the pipes.
It's an interesting move. This is going to be the fourth game with that new top six formation from head coach Danny Brunet that we're seeing. Marie-Philippe Poulain was split up from Caroline Ouellette, and they bumped her down to the second line, bringing up Kim Deschênes up to that top line with Marie-Philippe and Anne-Sophie Bété. Spreading out your offense that way makes it really frustrating for a team to defend against. It forces them to really roll their bottom six a little more than they'd be comfortable doing, or using their top six to shut down the Canadiennes' top six. So they're not really able to generate much offensively. And I think that gives a lot of time and space for even the Canadiennes' third line. You're seeing girls like Jordana Peroff spend a lot of time in the opposing zone. And I think that in large part is due to that new top six formation.
Well, and the depth certainly is something that helps Les Canadiennes, as they're able to roll out three lines with incredible ease and proficiency out there.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the Canadiennes' advantage, is that they are just a very, very deep team, and it's extremely difficult to play against. You've seen it this year just by the fact that the Canadiennes have been so hot. And of course, their only losses this season, one of which coming to Brampton.
So it's Brampton and Montreal. Montreal sits atop the standings with a 17-2 record for 34 points. Calgary idle today with 20 games played. They're 14-4-2 with 30 points. Brampton in third place. This is their 21st game of the season, 14-5-1, 29 points. Toronto in fourth at 5-16-1. They clinched the final playoff berth in the CWHL yesterday afternoon as they eliminated the Boston Blades, who are 1-20 on the campaign. A very tough year for the Boston formation, and we'll see them in the final game of the regular season here in a couple of weeks' time in Montreal. Yeah,
the 20 and 21st of February at Etienne Desmarteau Arena will be the final regular season matchup. You'll get to see Boston. Definitely a difficult year for the Blades, a bit of a rebuilding year. Tara Watchorn admirably taking control of that organization, and I think that they're really growing, and I think that there's going to be good things that we can expect from that team next season. Keeping an eye on the other game in the CWHL this afternoon, Toronto leads 1-0 over the aforementioned Blades. Christy Zamora at 4:08 with the goal late in the first period. 12-3 of the shots on goal in favor of Toronto. Our pregame ceremony today is going to be something where we will be honoring a group of young girls who will be making history, as for the first time ever, an all-female team will be participating in the Quebec International Pee Wee Tournament coming up in March at the Videotron Center in Quebec City. And it's going to be led by several members of the Canadiennes, including Caroline Ouellette, who was the kingpin, or the person really behind this. MP Marie-Philippe Poulain and Noémie Marin are all involved with the program as well, Charlie Labonte. So it's a great opportunity as the team is being introduced here in the pregame ceremony. In a few moments' time, you will see the entire Pee Wee AA girls team, the 13s that will be going to Quebec City in a couple of weeks. It's really great to see that there is an all-girl team. I know when I was younger, there was no all-girl opportunities. If you wanted to play hockey, you had to play with the boys. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but at the same time, it's nice to be able to develop your game and play with girls, because if you want to play professionally, that's what you're going to have to do. You're not going to be playing with boys. Some do. There are exceptions to that rule, like Haley Wickenheiser, Jennifer Wakefield doing it right now over in Europe, playing with men professionally. But for the most part, you're going to be playing in the CWHL, and that's where you're going to be playing professionally. So you need to get used to that at an early age. And it's really awesome to see that there is that first all-girls team competing, and their first competitors, who are they going up against? A team coached by Marc Messier, which is absolutely terrifying. But these girls are too young to even know who Marc Messier is, so that's a good thing probably for them.
And the other thing that, as you mentioned, Robin, is that there were a lot of young girls who previously grew up having to play mixed hockey or boys hockey, and there was never really an opportunity for them to
well, let's not kid ourselves. It's not even mixed hockey. Like, you were the only girl on the team. You were playing boys hockey.
That's correct, in a separate locker room. And
yeah, it wasn't the same.
And where I'm going with this is that there was no CWHL, there was no NWHL for them to aspire to be a part of. In fact, at that point in time, you know, the national team didn't really exist. You know,
No.
It was every couple of years when there was a world championship. Now there's a world championship every year. There's an Olympics every 4 years, and that makes a huge difference for these young girls who are the future of the CWHL.
Yeah, you need to have girls aspiring to play in the league, and it's great because, again, going back to when I was little, you know, you dream about playing in the NHL, but you knew at the back of your mind that that was never going to happen, that was not a possibility. And it's nice now that they have something to aspire to, and I love seeing little kids wearing Julie Chu and Marie-Philippe Poulin jerseys, and that they have these heroes that they can look up to and aspire to be. And it's not just little girls. There are little boys that are rocking the Poulin jerseys, because she's a star that transpires gender. You know, if you're a fan of the game, you're a fan of Marie-Philippe Poulin.
And we saw that at the CWHL All-Star Game in Toronto. All the different teams had fans in the stands. We saw little boys and girls wearing the jerseys of their favorite players, and that's really awesome.
I was reminded, too, of there was a woman who was participating in a contest between action, you know, during the TV timeouts, and she was being asked trivia questions about the Toronto Furies. She was a big fan. She knew all the answers, knew everything about Natalie Spooner. But then when they asked her an NHL question, she had no idea. She was like, I don't watch National Hockey League. I love the girls.
That was exactly what her response was, folks. And the Air Canada Centre, the 6,000 fans in the building, doubled over laughing. You could hear it was a roar as if one of the best comedians in the world were in the building.
Oh, I really enjoyed that, if I can be quite honest. I mean, I'm a fan of the game at any level. I don't know, during lockout years of the NHL, I was jonesing so hard for hockey. I was going out and watching Pee-wee games at local rinks just because I needed to get, you know, some of the game in me. But yeah, it's really funny to see that there are people who love this league and they don't really care about any other.
So the team are called les Étoiles 13, 13 stars. This is the team, the official team photo. We see them from with all of their names on the back of the jerseys. As they turn to the far side here at the Complexe Sportif Bell to take the official photo. It's a great opportunity for these young women to be able to, to take something from the Montreal Canadiens dressing room, take the torch from these CWHL players, and holding it high at the Quebec International Pee-wee Tournament. It's time now for the National Anthem, and when we come back, we'll introduce the starting goaltenders in today's game. It's a Super Sunday on the South Shore of Montreal. As live from Brassard, it's time for CWHL Live, the Brampton Thunder and the Canadiennes de Montréal. It's time to meet the starting goaltenders in tonight's game, and we begin with the visiting Brampton Thunder, who are 14-5-1, 5-4-1 away from Brampton. Getting the call between the pipes today, Liz Knox, her second game of the season against the Canadiennes. She is 7-2 on the campaign with a 2.56 goals against average and a .922 save percentage. So Liz Knox will get the start, the former Wilfrid Laurier Golden Hawk, between the pipes for the Brampton Thunder. For the Canadiennes de Montréal, Charlie Labonte, 13-1, a 1.49 goals against average and a .923 save percentage, will get the call tonight. She has 4 shutouts on the campaign. including one against the Brampton Thunder in the opening game of the season, a 4-0 win back on October the 17th at the Centre Étienne Desmarteaux.
And the one loss that the Canadiennes do have against the Brampton Thunder, it was not Charlene Labonte in goal. She did have an injury that she was dealing with in the month of December, and we saw Sydney Avison get some playing time. So that loss has not yet come against the Brampton Thunder for Charlie. So in her mind, she's still undefeated against this team.
So we're glad that you've chosen to spend a little bit of time with us here on this Super Sunday. The big football game to end the season coming up in a couple of hours' time. I know, Robin, you've got your jersey for your party at TSN Radio here in Montreal. That's where Robin is. Her day job is as a producer and host at Bell Media here in Montreal at CJAD and at TSN 690. If you don't get a chance to, you should take a listen to her show every Sunday morning here on TSN 690 and on tsn690.ca. It's women's hockey talk at its finest.
Yeah, I try and devote as much time as I can to women's hockey on my show. It's called Center Ice on Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. We, of course, talk NHL. We'll talk junior hockey. Today, for example, we spent half the show talking about women's hockey. So it's something I always try to do. It's something I'm passionate about. And more often than not, I usually have players on. So if you're a fan of Les Canadiennes, that's the place to go to hear these girls.
Katia Clément-Edra out there with Caroline Ouellette and Noémie Morin up front on the blue line. It is Laurien Rougeau and Julie Chu. So they're out there against the Styles, Rattray, and on the far side, that is Jess Jones' line. And on the blue line for Brampton, it is Edney and Larocque. And we are underway. Glad you're along with us here on CWHL Live. On the far side in the offensive zone, Brampton has it, but Julie Chu tips the puck away from Rattray. Behind the net, Rattray with it. She'll power it out the near side. She's knocked down there by Katia Clément-Edra. Pass off of Caroline Ouellette's skate. Gets to the blue line, kept in by the captain, Larocque. Rougeau reverses the puck around to the far side. Julie Chu will bank it off of the boards and out to center ice. Backpedaling is Edney at the center red line. And the puck will be chipped in deep by Les Canadiennes. Julie Chu as they go for a line change. Here's Edney in her own zone on the near side, banking it off of the boards to Rattray at center. Cross-ice pass was almost intercepted by Bette, but Vint, who has 4 points against Les Canadiens, backhands it into the offensive zone. Cathy Chartrand, the captain, up left wing side for Kim Deschênes, who's up on the number 1 line again for the 4th straight game, as Robin mentioned off the top of the broadcast. She's in there with Poulain. Poulain centering pass. Bette couldn't get the shot away as it went right into the skates of Birchard, and out to center comes Brampton. On the right wing side, that's Ellie Seedhouse, former captain of the Western Mustangs, plays it in behind the net. Far side, McParlin back to the blue line. Left side, Birchard with a shot through traffic, hits Vint in front. Bette comes up with it for Les Canadiens. She's away at center. Left wing side for Deschênes. She'll lift it in and go for a line change here. A very quick pace, minute 30 played in the first period. No score in the hockey game. In neutral ice, Blais brings it into the offensive zone, left wing side for Les Canadiens. Battling there with Fortino. And Fortino comes up with it for Brampton. Banks it off the boards for King. And she just lifts it ahead for Laura Fortino. Gains center and plays it in deep. Labonte out from her crease, plays it there. King intercepts and she tries to walk it out in front of the net, but a good stick check there by Amar took away the scoring chance. Perov on the near side. Olds couldn't clear the zone. And now on the follow-up attempt, she does. As Whitaker plays it over to the far side for Larocque. She had her pocket picked, but Les Canadiens go for a line change, and that allows Jocelyn Larocque to go back in her own zone to pick the puck up and leg it out to center ice. On the right wing side, she'll lift it into the offensive zone after gaining center. Blow almost puts it right onto the stick of King, but Larocque has it. Larocque drops it there for Whitaker. Her shot goes wide of the mark as Montgomery was standing on the side of the doorstep. And now back out to center. Morin chips it ahead for Ouellette. On the right wing side, Larocque takes her to the boards, and the puck comes over to the near side now. Katia Clément-Edra, backhand shot towards the goal, knocked down by Richard. She'll skate it to center and backhand it into the offensive zone and go for a line change to settle things down here as we approach the 3-minute mark of period number 1. At center, that is Simmons lifting it into the offensive zone. Chu knocks it down, gives it to her defense partner Rougeau, who drops it back. There for Caroline Ouellette. Ouellette out to center, legging it, going right side for Bette, but a delayed offside as Rougeau was just ahead of the play. Bette doesn't hear the linesperson saying clear, 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 and that will be a delayed offside and bringing it all the way back down in Canadian territory. We went 3 minutes and 9 seconds without a whistle to start this hockey game.
Well, it's quite a way to start. One thing I'm really noticing from Brampton is they're doing a good job at keeping the Canadiennes out of their own zone. And that's something you want to do if you don't want to let the other team generate scoring chances. The best thing to do, keep them out of your end. And we're seeing Jocelyn Larocque on the ice quite a bit, and she's managing to hold that Canadienne blue line rather nicely.
Face off to the right of Charlene Labonte. Poulin will take it for the Canadiennes against Canada's Styles of the Thunder, and Poulin wins the face-off to Chartrand, but Rattray got there. Puck goes up in the air, but Chartrand is able to play it up the left wing side for Deschênes. Cross-ice pass for Bette. She catches up to it. Bette towards the front of the goal. Passes it in front. Just out of the reach of the stick of Poulin as it comes over to the near side. Poulin with it. Curling out of the circle. Gives it to Bette. Centering pass intended for Poulin, but the pass was in behind her, and Deschênes keeps it in, playing it into the far right wing corner. Bierchard with it for Brampton. Cross over to the near side for Laura Fortino. She'll skate it into the Canadian zone. Going wide on the right side, backhand shot towards the goal. It's tipped in front by Carly Hill, and it doesn't get all the way through to Charlene Labonte. Bette now up the middle for Poulin, who breaks it out to center. Poulin left wing side for Deschênes into the offensive zone. Puts the brakes on just inside the blue line, waiting for her new teammates to come over the boards. As Sarah Lachance knocks down Vint at center ice. Puck is cleared deep into the Canadiens' territory, just beyond the goal line, not quick enough for an icing call. As Lachance has it, she'll reverse it behind the net to the near side for Chelsea Saunders. Give and go behind the net. Lachance on the far side with it. A turnover as McParlin was standing there in the slot, couldn't get the shot away. Vint had the puck up in her paraphernalia, and finally curling and bringing it out to center was Sherrard. She'll send it deep into the offensive zone. Baki out there with her, former Concordia teammates. As Sherrard has it in the far corner. Sherrard battling there with Edney. Edney takes her to the wall. And Lachance comes up with it, but it is poked down the ice by Ellie Seedhouse to neutral ice. Approaching 5 minutes gone by of the first period. No score in the hockey game between the Canadiens and the Thunder here in Brassard. Peroff gives chase on the left wing side, but coming up with it there was Jocelyn Larocque. Her clearing attempt knocked down. It's a 3-on-1 for the Canadiens inside the blue line. Play towards the front of the goal. Peroff was there. She tipped it in on Knox. The puck lays loose at the side of the goal. And Brampton will clear it to the blue line and out as Fielding Montgomery plays it into the offensive zone. Julie Chu back to play it for the Canadiens. To Laurent Rougeau up the near side for Leslie Oles. She leaves it there for her teammate Chu, but Whitaker picked her pocket, plays it ahead to King on the right wing side. She got caught up there with the referee in the near corner, brings it back to the half wall, back to Whitaker at the right point. Wrist shot going down low and blocking it there was Leslie Oles. And Rougeau will reverse it to the right wing side for Julie Chu in front of her own goal, up to Emmanuelle Blais at center, and she goes with a cross-ice dump in and goes for a line change after gaining center ice. 14-15 to go in the first period. No score in the hockey game between Brampton and Les Canadiens. Here's Jones at center. Left wing side for Fortino. She'll gain the blue line, play it into the right wing corner, left wing corner, excuse me. Puck rolls over to the near side. Chartrand has it for the Canadiens. Nice little pass to Clément Aydra, 3-on-2 for the Canadiens. Gives it to Willett, left wing side. Willett to the goal, takes a wrist shot blocker, stopped by Knox. Puck goes in behind the goal. Here's Willett with it. Back to the blue line it goes. Carly Hill over to Chartrand on left point, takes the wrist shot through traffic, knocked down in front by Marin. Puck comes back out in front of the goal, and Chartrand couldn't steal, and now it's a 3-on-2 for Brampton back the other way. Here's Rattray, left wing side, centering pass for Jones, just in behind her, and the puck comes over to the near boards. Simmons plays it down low for Rattray into the right wing faceoff circle. Chartrand picks that off and will clear it out to center. Simmons hammers it off the window, back down in deep as Brampton goes for a line change. 6:30 gone by in the first period. This is a very quick game, only one stoppage so far. Poulin at center into the offensive zone with Bette on her left side. Poulin goes to the wall on the left wing boards. Tries to pass it in front for Deschênes, but the puck skipped over her stick. The puck stays in the offensive zone. Here's Bette in the left wing corner, taking a funny bounce off the inboards. Gives it to Deschênes. Deschênes has Poulin in front. Goes back to the line, left wing side. Here is Bro with a shot. It's tipped in and hit the crossbar as it went across from the left wing to the right side. Amar at the right point. Plays it down in deep. Just out of the reach of Poulin, but Deschênes catches up to the puck in the near corner. Poulin had it for a moment, now goes back to Bro. Bro to the right point, Aymar. Gives it to Bette, back to Aymar, through traffic with a shot. Poulin was in front and she got her stick on it. Good stop there by Knox. Here's Bette playing it down low behind the net. Deschênes goes for a line change, and that allows Brampton to come up with a disc, and off the window it goes, out to center ice as it was cleared by Simmons. Here is Bro, left wing side, cross ice dump into the right wing corner. Leslie Oles gives chase. Oles with it, centering pass, knocks it away. And here comes Becca King on the right wing side for Brampton. Gets it out to center, but she's checked there by Oles. And here's Larocque curling between the rings in her own zone. Cutting over the left wing side. And now she'll play it ahead to Richards. Richards backhands it in the offensive zone. Rougeau has it for Montreal. Over to the far side as Willette just jumps on. Nice drop pass there for Chu. Chu reverses over to the left wing side for Rougeau. And her pass intended for Peroff goes beyond her reach. And Fortino has it now for Brampton. Off the glass, down the ice it goes. No icing on the play as it hit a pair of players in neutral ice. Good pace to this game so far, Robin.
Oh, absolutely. Seeing a lot of sustained zone pressure from the Canadiennes. I particularly liked a play that Marie-Philippe Poulin had on that last scoring drive where she was able to just outplay Rebecca Vint and Dania Simmons and go around them with her stick and totally generate that offensive scoring opportunity that we saw. And then they maintained the zone pressure and got another line out there. And Brampton just looked gassed and needed to get their players off and aren't able to generate anything themselves.
Puck back down in Montreal territory. Here's Cassia Clément-Edra with the puck on the left wing side. Skates it between the face-off circles out to center. Pass left side for Marin. She'll tip it in deep. Edney gives chase. Knox will play it as she comes out of her crease. Gives it on the far side for Jones. She'll drop it back, and Rattray now tries to clear. Edney has to come back to pick up the puck and backhand it out to center. There's a turnover as Chacon has it at the blue line. Ahead on the left wing side for Poulin, just out of her reach. No icing on the play. Poulin's centering pass goes off of Knox. Rattray with it over to the far side. She tries to clear. Poulin intercepts again. Here's Kim Deschênes in the far corner. Back to Poulin. Good stick check there by Jess Jones to take away the scoring chance.
Yeah, it's not often that you'll see Marie-Philippe Poulin lose control of the puck.
Unless, of course, she's tripped up. And that's exactly what happens here. So a tripping call coming up here to the Brampton Thunder, and it's going to go to Rebecca Vint.
Yeah, Rebecca Vint has found herself in the penalty box quite a bit this season. 28 penalty minutes on the season already. And as we said, Brampton is the most penalized team in the CWHL. And the Canadiennes happen to have a really, really good power play.
But Brampton has an outstanding penalty kill with 5 shorthanded goals for this season. They're the second best penalty kill unit in the league at 85%. Here's Rougeau on the right side for Poulin. Poulin down low for Bette. Bette to Poulin into the slot, with a shot, and it just goes over the bar as Knox did not see the puck coming through. She was completely screened. Puck gets past Rougeau as Fielding Montgomery will send the puck down the ice.
It's good to see Caroline Willette out there on the Canadiennes' top power play unit. Of course, she is now on the second line as they put Kim Deschênes up front, but when you're on the power play, those lines shift, and Caro belongs out there with Bette and Poulin.
Here is Chu at the point, takes a shot in front by Bette on the goal line. Great stop there by Liz Knox as she got out her right pad and she's slow to get up. She extended herself twice as Bette was banging on the puck on the doorstep. Here's Willette back the other way. Willette takes a shot, kick stopped by Knox and she can't get up. Liz Knox is hurt. Her right leg was extended on that scoring chance by Bette down low, and she is feeling it right now. Chu through traffic, shot, hits the stick and goes wide. Here's Rougeau behind Lynette. Bichard steals, clears it right to Willette, who shots. Great glove save by Liz Knox. How did she see that?
I don't know how she saw that, but she's in some serious pain right now. She's been slow to get up and been forced to go down and make a couple of saves since she overextended herself. They're bringing out the trainer onto the ice now after she made what was a spectacular glove save while grimacing through what is some obvious pain that she's experiencing right now.
Those of you who followed CIS hockey knows the legend of Liz Knox when she was goaltending for the Laurier Golden Hawks. And she will fight through a lot, but she really extended herself the right leg twice to stop Ann-Sophie Bette on the goal line. And she is coming out of the game as she is in obvious pain.
Yeah, Erica Howe just suited up on the bench, and she's going to come in relief for Liz Knox, who's being helped off, favoring her right leg. She's not putting any pressure on that right now as the trainer helps her off the ice, as well as her teammate Laura Fortino. Erica Howe has had a great season this year, 222 goals against average, 925 save percentage. She'll come in to finish off the period, and you would think the rest of this hockey game.
Well, Tyler Fines, the coach for Brampton, is saying send her right to the dressing room. As you mentioned, Howe, she's 7-3 on the season, 2 shutouts. 2.35 goals against, a 2.35 goals against average, 921 save percentage. And she was spectacular in yesterday's game as well, facing 35 Canadiennes shots. 54 seconds to go on the power play for the Canadiennes. And Deschênes plays it back to Aymar at the point. Aymar to Cathy Chartrand, top of the umbrella, goes to the left side for Aymar. Aymar to the half boards now, back to Chartrand. She'll skate towards the left side, takes the wrist shot through traffic, knocked down in front by Richards, and it will be cleared out to center. Fielding Montgomery is the league's leading shorthanded goal scorer with a pair of shorties this season. She's out there, number 16 for Brampton, as Leslie Olds brings it into the offensive zone with 25 seconds to go on the power play for Les Canadiens. All three forwards for Montreal are below the goal line, and Kim Deschênes comes up with it in the odd numbered situation. She plays it back to Aymar. It gets past her, and Montgomery, here comes fielding Montgomery into the offensive zone. She's held up just enough, not enough for an interference call, as back the other way comes Deschênes. Deschênes in left side, cuts low, now comes back out in front with a pass for Chartrand, gives it to Saunders, her wrist shot, knocked down in front. Vint has been sprung free. Vint is behind everybody, but Chartrand saw her at the last moment and intercepted the stretch pass, which would have led to a breakaway. Courtney Burchard behind her own net for Laura Fortino. Fortino up the left side for Ellie Seedhouse, who springs Vint free away at center. She steps in over the blue line and hammers a drive in on Levante, who will stop proceedings with 8 minutes to go in period number 1.
As we take a look down at Erica Howe, who's just sort of stretching and getting her legs. What a way to come into the game when your team is on the penalty kill and having to face some firepower like she just did right there. Fun fact about Erica Howe, I was speaking with Jamie Lee Rattray last week, and they're roomies. They live together. So they have a similar routine. They go to all their games and all their practices in their gym together. So they spend an awful lot of time together. It's our first season that they're living together while playing at the same time, despite the fact they've been teammates for years.
Second shot against Levante of the game. Here's Jones for the goal. Blocker stopped by Levante, who went down to the butterfly. Her third save of the game. As the shots so far are 7-2 in favor of Les Canadiennes. Ouellette up the right side for Marin. She'll bank it off of the boards. Good check there by Jocelyn Larocque to stop her as a centering pass to Théma Edra. She has the puck. She tried to kick it towards the goal. Here's Chu. Wrist shot through traffic. It's knocked down in front. It will come back to the right point for Chu. Julie Chu settling the puck down. Goes to Lauriane Rougeau left point. Rougeau into the slot for Ouellette. Spins, fires. Knocked down by Stiles. The puck pinballs over to the near corner. Puck clear to the blue line. Not out. As Simmons will reverse it, go to Larocque behind her own net, and Larocque will bring the puck up left wing side, stretch pass intended for Rattray, goes off of the stick of Marin. Rattray was able to get it, hammer it down in deep, and that allows both teams to go for a line change. 7 minutes to go in the first period in a scoreless tie. Chartrand up the middle, just out of the reach of Poulain. Brampton will play it back into Montreal territory as Hill spins, clears to the blue line, and it did get out as Richards had to wait, or else she could have had a good scoring chance there. And that allows Montreal to start the rush up on the left wing side. Here's Bette through center. Bette lead pass for Poulain, intercepted at the blue line by Richards. King has it now for Brampton. She gives it to Richards just inside the Canadienne blue line. She'll play it in deep for fielding Montgomery. Montgomery reverses to the near side, but Bette comes up with it, chips it off the boards for Poulain. Poulain up the left side. Oh, great play by Whitaker to read the play and to intercept that pass for Kim Deschênes, who was streaking in behind her. Cathy Chartrand below the right wing circle in her own zone, comes cross ice for Carly Hill, up to center for Bette. She'll backhand it into the offensive zone as Alyssa Sherrard. The energy line is out there right now for Les Canadiennes. Lachance in front of the goal, she has it, takes it behind the net. Bocchia on the right wing side. Lachance can't center it there as she was on her knees. Richards sweeps it over to the near corner. McPartland goes to the wall. Lachance, though, seals her off, and Bocchia has it. Back to the blue line it goes. Here's goal at the point. Her shot goes off the stick of McPartland to the far point, or the far corner, excuse me, and Seedhouse will get it to the blue line. Amar will keep it in momentarily, but the puck skips over her stick. And now the Canadiens will go for a reset. Here's Bocchia on the left wing side. Bocchia in, wrist shot, and a nice stop there by Howe as she will play it into the corner. Bocchia curls out of the corner, sends it back to Amar at the point. She goes to the far half boards. Here's Sherrard. Alyssa Sherrard comes cross ice, left wing side for Bro. Bro through traffic with a shot. She was looking for Bocchia for the tip in front. Puck goes to the far side, and Jess Jones has it for Brampton as we are approaching the 15-minute mark of the first period. Jones's lob in on goal is steered aside by Levante. And the Canadiens will start the rush up on the left wing side of their own zone, but Stiles gets to the boards, intercepts Ol's clearing pass. And now Bocchia will skate it out to center. She's got Clément Edra free at center, but she waited too long for the pass. And here's Rattray back the other way. Rattray into the offensive zone, goes right to left, into the left wing face-off circle, turns the puck over, and Caroline Ouellette is away on her own on the left wing side. Marin comes over the boards. Here's Ouellette towards the goal. Shootings right into the logo on the chest of Erica Howe. And that keeps the score at zeros.
What an odd move just there from Jamie Lee Rattray. She had control of the puck, and it seemed to just bounce off the edge of her stick, and then in an attempt to sort of pass it off to a teammate, she didn't get enough mustard on that pass, and Caroline Ouellette was in the high slot area ready to pick it up and skate it in, and no one really seemed to have make any efforts to try and slow her down, and she was able to get in almost all alone on Erica Howe.
So true. And it's what she may not have seen, that Noémie Marin was coming in on the right wing side, coming off the line change, which could have given the Canadiens an even better opportunity on the pass to the right side. But who am I to second guess Caroline Ouellette?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to ask her what happened there, although I just might do that after the first period.
And she will be our first intermission guest here on CWHL Live. Here's Ouellette in, pass in front, and a great stop there by Howe, as Clément Aydra was absolutely raucous inside the blue line. And a penalty coming up here to the Thunder, their second of the hockey game, an interference call.
As Rougeau is over there helping Clément Aydra up and over to the bench as she went down at the blue line and looks to be in some pain herself. Man, these ladies are dropping like flies this afternoon.
Justin Larocque with the penalty. Well, and Brampton is known for a robust play. They have been for years, and it's one of their trademarks. We mentioned off the top, most penalized team in the league with the second best penalty kill in the CWHL, and the most prolific shorthanded team in the league. So we'll see what happens with the captain in the box for Brampton. Face off to the right of Howe. Poulin wins the draw back to Julie Chu. Chu goes to Rougeau at the right point on her off wing to Poulin. She'll curl at the top of the face-off circle. Comes to Chu left side. Julie Chu to Poulin, winding, shooting, scores! Marie-Philippe Poulin on the power play. 12 seconds into the advantage, and it's 1-0 for the Canadiennes.
That's Marie-Philippe Poulin's 5th power play goal of the season and her 20th goal of the season. This is only her 18th game, so she's averaging more than a goal per game this season. She missed a couple for the Four Nations Cup a little bit earlier this season. She just comes in there, and this is why you can't give Montreal power play opportunities. If you're known for your robust game, you want to make sure you're taking smart penalties, and that was not a smart move by Larocque as the Canadiens go up 1-0.
Poulin, her 20th of the season on the power play, 16:06 the time of the goal. Assists, if you're coming from the broadcast booth, should be Julie Chu and Lauriane Rougeau, who were exchanging the puck at the blue line before making the pass to Poulin for the goal. So it's 1-0 for the Canadiens, with just under 4 minutes to go here in the first period. Here's Vint. She has a pair of goals against the Canadiens. She shoots and scores!
This is just like yesterday with the Brampton Thunder coming right back in and not allowing the Canadiens to gain any momentum, tying the game up just a few seconds later.
Vint's third of the season against the Canadiens. And for Vint, that is goal number 13 of the campaign.
It'll be interesting to see how Montreal rebounds from that. You know, when you score, you want to take that momentum and carry it over. You don't want to get too cocky. You want to keep yourself up. And this is something that Montreal is really struggling to do against Brampton. They can't seem to hold a lead. 20 seconds after the Canadiens take the lead, Vint will score her 13th of the season to tie the game up. We're knotted up at ones here late in the first period in what has been a phenomenally exciting first period of action here in Montreal, as a clearing attempt goes long and an icing charge against the Thunder. Yesterday it was an exchange of goals just like it is today, and this is a team that both seem to be firing pucks on net. That was a bit of an odd one to see Charlie give up. I don't really think she was settled and ready for that one, coming a few seconds after the Canadiens had put themselves on the board.
So it's not Rougeau, it's Caroline Ouellette with the other assist on the Poulin goal at 16:06, and then 20 seconds later, the game is tied up by Vince. And that is unassisted. Poulin at center on the left wing side, carries it to the half boards in the attacking zone, takes a shot in on goal, kicked aside by Howe. Bette leaves it there for a teammate, but there was nobody but a white jersey, as Fortino will play it off of the boards out to center on the near side. Fortino gets the pass from Jones into the offensive zone, but Poulin strips her of the puck. And Aymar being bothered there by Candace Stiles. She's knocked down by Stiles. Aymar gets back up, fights through the check, and plays it to the far side. Slams the brakes on in the corner, and tries to go cross ice for Deschênes. She fell on the puck. Jones is knocked down, and a penalty coming up to Karel Aymar for roughing.
Yeah, it looked like Jones didn't really have any control of her stick there, as now Ann-Sophie Bété and Jones sort of exchanging words and fisticuffs in the corner.
And there may be actually an offsetting penalty here. This may not be a Brampton power play. We've got roughing to Aymar, and then Jess Jones is going to get a roughing call. Are they going to be coincidentals? Or will they be offsetting? Because they're two separate penalties. The Canadiens have 4 on the ice. Brampton has 2, 4, 6, 10 players on the ice right now. So 2 minutes on each side of the scoreboard, so we will be skating 4 aside.
And this is why you got to keep your emotions in check. Jess Jones there was able to draw a penalty, goat Aymar into taking that roughing call, finding herself in the box. Brampton would have had a power play opportunity had Jess Jones kept her cool against Ann-Sophie Bété. No, they exchange words. She finds herself in the box. No power play opportunity for you, Thunder.
12-5 of the shots on goal at this stage of the first period with 2:36 to go in the frame. Face off to the right of Lamonte. Well, that will take the draw against Vint, who just scored moments ago to tie this game up. Larac, far side, just out of the reach of Edney. But it is McParland back to Edney. Her shot through traffic, knocked down by Ouellette. Puck pinballs in front, and it will be cleared by Chu out to center ice. So here's Edney in front of her own bench, being watched there by Noémie Marin. She gives it to McParland, who reverses over to the near side, and it's getting away with a head full of steam into the offensive zone is Larac. Larac into the corner, right wing side, tried to cut towards the goal, now takes it to the far corner. Larac slams the brakes on, gives it to McParland in the far corner. Stick check by Chu, comes back to Larac. She fakes the shot, give and go with McParland, back to Larac. To McParland, coming in. Now she'll dish off right side for Edney on the 4-on-4 situation. Through traffic, and the shot gets through. Vint may have gotten her stick on the puck as she wanted a penalty there in front of the goal. Rougeau was able to clear it over to the near side. Ouellette gets it out to center. Marin will tip it in deep, and Le Canadien will go for a line change with 1:40 to go in the first period. 1-1 is the score. Tip pass at center by Rattray. That will be negate an icing as Hill is back. She leaves it there for Poulin. Rattray got the hook out on Poulin, but Poulin has a head full of steam through the left wing side in neutral territory. Takes the wrist shot. It goes off of Fortino's stick and wide. Chatran leaves it there for Bette, curling out of the right wing corner. Gives it back to Carly Hill. Over to Chatran. Chatran to Poulin. Tip pass down low for Chatran right side. McParland got her stick on it. Chips it over to the near boards. Bette in the corner. Reverses back to the blue line. It goes for Chatran at the right point now. Walks across the blue line to the near side. Chatran with it. Down low for Hill. Back to the blue line. Here is Chatran through traffic, and Bette tips it over the glass and out of play with 55.6 seconds to go in the first period. In the other game of the CWHL this afternoon, after one period of play in Toronto, the Furies lead the Blades 1-0. Goal was scored early in the period, and we'll give you a complete summary of that out-of-town scoreboard a little bit later on in the intermission. Yesterday, Toronto clinched 4th place in the CWHL and has qualified for the Clarkson Cup playoffs, eliminating Boston with a 5-0 victory. As Rougeau brings the puck into the offensive zone for Le Canadiennes. She'll go to the goal line, take a wrist shot from a sharp angle as Howe will play it over to the far side. Here's Julie Chu at the point. Left side for Rougeau. Rougeau down low. In front play, she tipped it towards the goal as both teams are back at 5 aside. And away at center, here's Fortino. Fortino into the offensive zone. Fortino has the puck lifted off her stick momentarily by Julie Chu, but it pinballs into the far corner. Emmanuel Blayback to play it for Le Canadiens. She'll get it to Jordana Peroff, who will skate it out to center. 15 seconds to go in the period. Peroff loses the puck as the puck comes over to the near side for Larac. Bank pass off the boards. King into the offensive zone. 10 seconds to go. She gives it to Jones. Jones into the right wing corner. Jones spinning off the check of Caroline Ouellette. 4 seconds to go in the period. Will Brampton get a chance to get a shot? Here's Stiles in the slot, but she passes it back into the corner as time expires to end period number 1. In a highly entertaining period that took us 25 minutes of real time to play 20 minutes of end-to-end action And we will get you the shots on goal in just a moment's time, but let's run down the scoring summary of that first period. It was Marie-Philippe Poulin, her 20th of the season on the power play. It's 16:06 from Julie Chu and Caroline Ouellette. And that gave Les Canadiennes a 1-0 lead. Brampton came back. Just 20 seconds later, Rebecca Vint with her 13th of the season, her third of the campaign against Les Canadiennes. That was an even strength tally, unassisted, and that's where we stand after 20 minutes of play. The shots on goal in that first period favored Les Canadiennes, as we just wait for the official tally. Shots on goal in favor of Les Canadiennes, 13-5. So 1-1 is the score after 20 minutes of play here in Brassard. And coming up in just a few moments' time, we will have Caroline Ouellette with Robin Flynn, and we'll be going down to her in just a moment's time. Elsewhere in the CWHL this afternoon, we mentioned that there's one other game going on. The Furies have extended their lead to make it 2-0 after midway through the second period. They're out shooting Boston 26-7 so far. Christy Zamora and Kelly Terry with the goals to give Toronto a 2-0 lead, and they lead by a deuce after 20 minutes of play. And as we mentioned yesterday, Toronto clinched a playoff berth by defeating the Blades in Toronto by a score of 5-0. So thus far this weekend, they have yet to score a goal, the Boston Blades, and they are struggling right now. So we're going to send it down to Robin Flynn in just a moment's time, who's standing by with Caroline Ouellette. Robin?
Thanks, John. I'm in conversation with Caroline Ouellette after that first period. You guys managed to take the lead, and then you find yourselves in a tie game by the end of the period. What happened there?
Well, we got a good goal on the power play. Unfortunately, they came right back at us. That's the type of team they are. They're not going to give up. They work hard for 60 minutes. They're a team that really works well together. They're tough to play against, so we got to be sharp after we score a goal, and we weren't, and that's what happened.
But you guys did manage to score on the power play. What do you think you guys do to make yourself so efficient with the man advantage?
Well, I think, first of all, we had some good chances, so we created that power play with a good play by Katia Edra. She took the hit there and helped us go on the power play. So I think we got to keep playing with speed so we can create chances for ourselves.
What do you look to do in the second period with the goalie change, with Liz Knox coming out, Erica Howe coming in? Is there any different strategy there?
No, I mean, they're both good goalies. We got to keep shooting and make sure that she can't see the puck, so hopefully we can get a few passes.
Things got a little bit rough late there with Ann-Sophie and Jess Jones sort of getting in each other's face. Is there a rivalry between these two teams?
Yeah, those games are always physical. It's been years that we have a great rivalry with Brampton, and it's not going to change. So Ann-Sophie did a great job trying to get under our skin, and we got a 4-on-4 because of that.
Perfect. Have a good second, Kel.
Thank you.
Back to you, John.
Thank you, Robin Flynn, for that interview with Caroline Ouellette. It is 1-1 after 40 minutes of play. Before we take a quick timeout, a reminder that our next broadcast comes your way on Saturday and Sunday, as Les Canadiennes will be in Calgary to take on the Inferno in what could be a clinching weekend for first place in the CWHL if Les Canadiennes were able to win both games. So Saturday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 6 o'clock Mountain Time broadcast from Calgary, and then on Sunday afternoon it's 12 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Mountain Time to wrap up the weekend. And the other game next weekend, not on CWHL Live, will be Brampton at Toronto in the Battle of the Metro Toronto area. When we come back, it will be we will roll on with our second intermission, but we're going to take a quick timeout and come back in a few moments' time. It's 1-1, Les Canadiennes and the Thunder after 20 minutes of play. Farmers, Winsport, Sportsnet, Bauer Hockey, Tim Hortons, Toyota, the Globe and Mail, Molson Coors, Bridgeforce, Porter Airlines, Gong Show, OMGs, the Calgary Flames, the Toronto Maple Leafs, and the Montreal Canadiens.
When I was 7, I wore these gloves. They held this stick. Well, these skates carried me over the blue line. We won the championship, and now it's all yours. Cool. Oh, and this mouth guard. I'll get my own. Thanks.
The 5th season is when spirit for the game gets passed down. That's why we're proud to support over 5,000 teams. 100% énergie. 100% passion. 100% effort. Pourtant, les femmes n'ont que 5% de visibilité. Les producteurs laitiers canadiens croient que les athlètes féminines devraient être vues et entendues haut et fort. Avec Nourrir la passion du sport féminin, nous célébrons les athlètes féminines de tous les niveaux. Joignez-nous à Vive le sport féminin. « 100% énergie. 100% passion. 100% effort. Pourtant, les femmes n'ont que 5% de visibilité. Les producteurs laitiers canadiens croient que les athlètes féminines devraient être vues et entendues haut et fort. Avec Nourrir la passion du sport féminin, nous célébrons les athlètes féminines de tous les niveaux. Joignez-nous à Vive le sport féminin.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the program. Now the local Montreal Stars of the Canadian Women's Hockey League are now part of a whole new galaxy. The team has joined forces with the Montreal Canadiennes to leverage their brand and encourage the development of women's hockey here in Quebec. Take a look. A new agreement between the Montreal Canadiens and the Canadian Women's Hockey League is letting the Stars shine.
We're very proud of this partnership. You are an example to many of the young girls who are starting to play hockey. Our intent is to put the Montreal Canadiens marketing machine behind you to make hockey more important in Quebec, especially girls hockey and women's hockey, and to help grow the sport.
On a tous et toutes rêvé de jouer pour la Canadienne de Montréal un jour et de gagner une Coupe Stanley. Malheureusement, c'est pas arrivé encore. Par contre, on est libre. On n'a pas de contrat encore.
This agreement is meant to raise the profile of the Stars by associating with one of the most storied franchises in the world. The Stars are the third team in the league to join with their NHL counterparts, following in the footsteps of Calgary and Toronto.
It's just a matter of growing the game and growing the number of players here in Quebec, 7,000 compared to about 30 in Ontario. So there's still a lot of work to do here. And that's why an association with the Habs here really believe in our sport and they want to be part of it.
Just the visibility. A lot of people talk about women's hockey once every 4 years. The Olympics are so big, but I wonder, do they ask where those girls are playing the rest of the years? Just having more, as I said, visibility and just that people know about us and who we are. That we walk on the street and we say, do you know who the Montreal Stars is?
The Canadiens will be offering their expertise in marketing, advertising, and helping to promote the team. The most noticeable changes will be the team's name and jersey design. There's one goal that is yet to be achieved. turning the Stars into a moneymaker for the players.
I think with a league that's still growing, we don't have any full-time members that are actually paid of each team. So everyone's a volunteer, and we have an amazing staff, but it's really difficult to really get out into the communities as much as we want to.
The agreement seems especially appropriate when looking at the similarities between the two teams. The Stars are the most successful CWHL team, taking home 3 of the 8 Clarkson Cup titles, while the Canadiennes are obviously famously known for their record of 24 Stanley Cups. While there are a wealth of Olympians on both teams, Montreal is making its case for being the best goaltending city in the world, currently boasting 2 Olympic gold medalists.
Yeah, it's cool. Obviously, it gives some of the best female players in Canada and the world a home to play. It's really good to see them get an opportunity, and it speaks volumes of the organization here to step up and help them out.
I watch Olympics. I was pretty into it. Obviously excited when Canada won, but that's pretty much as I follow. I've got a few. I played with some girls growing up, and I check in on how they're doing. They're over in colleges and stuff like that. So you want to see them do well and hopefully eventually represent their country.
While many kids look up to Montreal's greatest players, the Stars are hoping that soon there will be room for new idols in the boys' club.
I think a huge part of getting young girls into the rink and thinking that they can actually play hockey too is to see it. When you have role models that are strong, confident women that are playing great level of hockey, you're able to have these young girls coming to the stands and see them and maybe want to emulate them. And then they'll be able to go home and say, hey, can I try this sport? And now giving them some resources to be able to do it in their local communities.
Well, they have the chance to look up to girls and having that dream to play in our NHL, which is the CWHL. I think it's a great opportunity. And if I could, I would go back as a little kid and then redo it all over again. But right now we're kind of writing history for them, and it's kind of undescribable, but it's actually amazing. I hope one day somebody's going to say, hey, I want to be like her.
Welcome back to Le Complexe Sportif Bell here in Brossard, Quebec, which is on the south shore of Montreal. About a nice little 5-minute drive across the Champlain Bridge as that was not us, ladies and gentlemen, if you're still watching and your speakers haven't blown. That was the sound system here at the Complexe Sportif Bell. John Bauer, Robin Flynn with you. It is 1-1, the Canadiennes de Montréal and the Brampton Thunder after 20 minutes of play. And Robin, your thoughts on the opening 20?
Well, I thought it was definitely mostly Les Canadiennes. They were coming on really, really strong. They managed to get themselves on the power play where they're at their most ferocious, and they score a beautiful, beautiful goal that puts them up 1-0. And it's almost like they got a little complacent after that. I was speaking with Carol Ouellette just at the end of the first period, and she was really frustrated. She wasn't mincing words. She was really disappointed in their team that they managed to 20 seconds later allow Brampton to tie it up. And this is what was happening yesterday. Canadiennes just couldn't seem to hold a lead against this team. It's going to be an interesting second period, though, because of the goaltending change. When Erica Howe came in, Brampton was on the power play, so she really was facing a lot of shots. Now she's going to probably approach the second a little bit different. She's not going to be sitting on the bench, so she's going to be warming up. It'll be interesting to see how Liz Knox is doing. She did hurt herself. Looked like her right leg had overextended on a save. She made another collection of saves after that, including a miraculous glove save before she finally got a whistle, stoppage of play, and came out of the game. But Erica Howe's no slouch. They've really been splitting that load this season. It's not like in Montreal where Charlene Labonte is without a doubt the starting goaltender, whereas I think Erica and Liz, they both have 7 wins apiece this season, so the two of them have really shouldered that load together.
And as Robin mentioned, Liz Knox did go down on the power play. She made 2 spectacular saves with her right leg, extending it. It looked like she may have overextended it, but we're not doctors, so we don't know. And
Just play one on TV.
Exactly. And then she made a spectacular glove save before she was lifted from the game. So that's where things are there. It's 1-1 after 20 minutes of play. The shots on goal in the first period, 13-5 in favor of Les Canadiennes. Elsewhere in the CWHL this afternoon, Boston is on the board, trailing Toronto 2-1 on a goal by Drew Burns at 8:13 of the second period. Shots on goal, Robin. Toronto 33, Boston 8, with playing less than half of the hockey game. Now, That's one of Boston's biggest challenges this year is the number of shots against. We took a look at it in the intermission. They've given up something like 1,150 shots against. And then the second worst team defensively on shots against was Toronto with
688. That's rough. That's rough. And I mean, we knew it was going to be a tough year for Boston. They're in a bit of a rebuild mode. Not a lot of carryover from last season. It's just crazy to see because, you know, this team won the Clarkson Cup last year. And they have so few carryover players. Tara Watchorn shouldering a lot of that defensive load. She can't do it all. She can't play 60 minutes a game. And, I mean, Toronto's on pace to have 66 shots on goal. And it's not even Geneviève Lacasse who's in goal this weekend. She faces more rubber in this league than anybody else. But instead, they've got Caridi in there today. And she is facing a lot of action today. Her save percentage is through the roof.
So that's the other game in the CWHL this afternoon. Next weekend, on Saturday, there's one game. The Canadiennes are in Calgary to take on the Inferno. That's a game you can catch here on CWHL Live. An 8 o'clock Eastern puck drop, 6 o'clock Mountain Time. And then on Sunday afternoon, 12 noon Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Mountain, the concluding game of that weekend set. And Brampton is in Toronto on Sunday afternoon. That is a non-webcast game here on CWHL Live.
Well, it's nice to see that the games are sort of evening out. Calgary idle today, and they had a few games. Montreal had a few games in hand on Calgary. They're catching up in the standings. And you got to think that the Inferno are looking right now, watching on CWHLlive.com, thinking, man, really don't want Montreal to pull out another victory against Brampton, or they're going to really find themselves solidified in that top spot with, I believe, a 6-point lead on the Inferno if they win today.
And the fact that the Canadiennes thus far lead the regular season series, it would require Calgary to sweep to keep their chances alive for first place. And then they would have to go and do the same thing against the Thunder the weekend after to wrap up the regular season. So the two teams trailing Montreal are trying to stay within distance, within shooting distance of Les Canadiennes, and that's why Brampton needs a victory here this afternoon.
It would be really huge, though, to finish first for Montreal because of the new playoff format with the 3-game semifinal series going to whoever has the highest seed. Montreal has that #1 seed. That means they face off against the 4th place team all 3 games in Montreal. That'd be huge for their Clarkson Cup final appearance chances.
Katia Clément-Aydra wins the draw from Vint, and we're underway here in the second period, tied at 1. Clément-Aydra backhands it in on goal, and Howe will leave it there. Edney up to McParlin on the far side. Puck kept in at the blue line by Rougeau. Rougeau down low for Ouellette. Centering pass just out of the reach of the stick of Clément-Aydra. And here's Ellie Seedhouse back the other way into the offensive zone, left wing side for the Thunder. Centering pass just in behind Vint, and Rougeau takes Vint into the post just to the right of Charlene Levante to get the first stoppage of the second period.
That's the second time already in 30 seconds that Rebecca Vint has found herself on her behind. It happened just now at the blue line. Not sure if maybe there's still some undried pockets of water after the Zamboni made its round on the ice surface.
And that's why there was a slight delay to start the period, as both teams were waiting for the ice to dry, as the officials would not let play begin. And that's because there was a promotion that went a little long in the intermission. You may have heard it during Robin's interview with Caroline Ouellette. Here's Ann-Sophie Bate on the right wing side. Bate in. Tries a centering pass. Good job there by Fortino to go low and blocking it. Here's Shelton on the follow-up attempt. Her sharp angle shot is gloved aside by Howe, and back the other way comes Brampton. Here's Jones on a 3-on-2 with Rattray. Rattray has Fortino going to the front of the goal, but Rattray could not handle the pass from Jones, and Carly Hill comes back to play it for Les Canadiennes. To Poulain, knocked down at center. Here's a 2-on-2 for Les Canadiennes. Bette takes the pass from Deschênes. Her wrist shot goes off the glove of Howe, but that was well over the target. King in the offensive zone. She steps into Amar as the puck lays loose to the right of Levante. Corralling the disc there. That was Peroff. Peroff up the far side. It is intercepted there by Richards, but on the follow-up attempt, Olds gets it out to center ice. But Larac brings it back in. 3-on-1 for Brampton. Larac towards the goal. Takes a shot. And a stop there by Levante. The rebound comes out to the near side. And here's Jordana Peroff on the counter-attack for Les Canadiennes. She's in over the blue line with Olds. But a good back check there by King. Strips her of the puck as it rolls gingerly over to the near boards. Peroff centering attempt again, hits Larac. Larac goes over to the far side. Pinching in is Imar. She'll take it to the half boards. Now cuts into the left wing faceoff circle towards the front of the goal. She went, but King sealed her off, and Simmons has it. Simmons up the far side. Imar keeps the puck in again. Now she'll go for a line change as she lifts it into the left wing corner. Larac on the near side. Up the boards Montgomery can't clear as Chu hammers it towards the goal. It goes off of a Brampton defender and over to the far half boards. Simmons battling there. Clément Edra up with it for the Canadiennes. She'll backhand it into the far corner. Blais to Ouellette. Backhand pass to Chu. Reverses, to Rougeau. To Chu on the near side. Her rising slapper goes well wide of the target. Rougeau again through traffic. Hits Richards in the upper body, and she will send it down the ice in on Labonte. So no icing. Pace starting to pick back up here early in the second period after a slow start. As Simmons is back for Brampton. She tries to hammer it up the boards. Ouellette will steal. Larac battling there with Marin. Ouellette has it. Caro into the right wing. Face-off circle with a shot in the blocker. Stopped by Howe. She had no idea that hit her in the blocker and went over the net. She was looking for it behind her. And now Seathouse gets it to center, but Hill picks her pocket and plays the puck back into the offensive zone. We play just over 3 minutes of the second period, still tied at 1 apiece. Here's Hill at the point. Rising wrist shot that is stopped by Howe, and she holds on for the whistle.
We've already seen a few whistles only 3 minutes and 9 seconds into this period of play, whereas in the first period there was only 2 stoppages of play in the first half. I know you were sort of going on and on there, John, because there was just no whistles being blown. But it seems to have slowed down significantly in the second period.
Seathouse off the faceoff gets to the blue line, and it's out to center. And a glove pass off of McParlin to Vint is whistled down, so the faceoff will come back at the Brampton blue line. And actually it's going to come back inside the blue line. Nope, now the linespeople determined that it will be outside of the blue line. On the near side, so Poulin will take the draw against Candace Stiles. Jones and Rattray out there up front for Brampton. On the blue line, it's Edney and Whitaker as the play is stopped again. No changes here. Oh, yep, the Canadiennes will change up the blue line as Bette stays out there with Poulin and Deschênes. Rougeau and Chu come over the boards now on the last change. And Julie Chu has it. She goes to the far side for Rougeau. Rougeau risks it into the offensive zone. Howe out of her net to play it. Leaves it for Edney up the near boards for Jones. But the puck is knocked down at the line for Chu. Slap shot, and it hit Deschênes in front as her and Edney crash into Howe. Rougeau with it down low for Deschênes in the near corner. She's spun off of the puck by Edney. Here's Bette coming up the near boards as a pair of Canadiennes are on the ice. Here is Poulin down low. Bette in front for Deschênes, but the pass was just out of her reach, and the puck rolls all the way back down into Montreal territory.
Some excellent work there from Sarah Edney to rid Kim Deschênes of the puck. Of course, Brampton took Sarah Edney first overall at the CWHL draft in August, and she's been a huge addition to their defensive core.
One of the reasons why Brampton has had such success this season is their draft. And if there's something that Boston can certainly take heed of, is that Brampton turned things around in one season due to a good draft and a great talent base. As Oles comes in to the offensive zone for the Canadiens, cuts to the left side, takes a shot, tipped in front, and it comes out the near side. Blais she got her stick on it as Chacon takes a howitzer from the point, and it's blockered over the glass and out of play.
What a move from Leslie Oles to cut to the other side and try and surprise Howe, but Laura Fortino was there to pick up the rebound, not allow Montreal to generate anything after that.
Kathy Chacon with one of the hardest slap shots that you will ever face. She hammered that, but a good stop by Howe to knock the puck over the glass and out of play. So that sets up this face-off to her right, as Marin will take the face-off there against Rebecca Vint, the goal scorer for Brampton, who scored 20 seconds after Marie-Philippe Poulin gave the Canadiens a lead midway through the first period. Here's a shot from the left point by Ouellette, and that is easily stopped by Howe in the butterfly. Great crowd today here in Brassard again.
Yep, standing room only at this point. You got people standing up outside of the seating area along the boards.
Here is Katia Clément Edra on the near side. Fortino plays it up the boards. Marin back to the blue line for Carly Hill. Knocked down in front by Rebecca Vint, and she will skate it out to center. Plays it off of the glass, and down the ice it goes. No icing on the play. Chacon back to play it for the Canadiens. She'll rim it around the boards to the far side. Here is Noémie Marin. Marin up the far side into the skates of Clément Edra. She overskated it. Brampton advanced it, but Chacon will get it to the blue line. Fortino will play it back down and deep. Charlene Labonte out to play it. Here's Candace Stiles with a steal. Stiles to Seathouse in the slot. She couldn't get the shot away as Willette knocked the puck away from her to Katia Clément-Edra. She has Marin with her as well as Willette. Clément-Edra into the corner behind Lynette, bodied there by Larac, and Larac has the puck, bringing it out to center ice, and a 3-on-2 back the other way for Brampton. Larac straight up the middle, now cuts to the left wing side, into the circle, takes the wrist shot, and a save by Labonte as she brought the mitt up to her midsection and held on to that puck.
What an addition Katia Clément-Edra has been to Montreal. We were talking about the draft a little bit earlier. She was added to the Montreal team in the offseason as well, and now she's become a mainstay on that second line. So good at getting the puck out of her own zone and turning it into a scoring chance for Les Canadiennes.
Poulin and Stiles on the face-off. Montreal controls. Here's Bette on the left wing side, skating it out to center ice. Bette being bothered there and has her pocket picked by Rattray. Rattray back the other way, battling with Bette and Bro as the puck rolls in on goal and held on by Labonte. Elsewhere in the CWHL, Toronto has taken a 3-2 lead on Boston as they went up 3-1. Corey Chevery at 9:55 just after Boston got on the board, and then Megan Myers at 12:16 has scored as Boston starts putting up a substantial number of shots, 10 in the second period, 39-14 of the shots on goal in that hockey game so far.
Looks like Toronto's been taking a lot of penalties in the second period, something they're going to want to stop doing if they want to get past Boston.
Here's Larac at center for Brampton. To Rattray, Stiles couldn't control. Just inside the Canadienne blue line, Poulin reverses it. Stretch pass up the near side for Bette as Bette is hammered in along the boards, and a penalty coming up here. And it's going to be a body checking call as Bette did not like being taken into the wall that hard, and I actually think it's Jones that's getting the gate here.
Yeah, that was Jones who hit Bette, and there's no love lost between these two players. She found herself in the box in the first period after sparring and exchanging words with Ann-Sophie Bette, who seems to do a really good job of getting under players' skin, but keeping herself calm, cool, and collected as she saunters back over to the bench, sits down, and watches her team go up on the power play with 13:46 left in the second.
So Brampton on the penalty kill for the third time today. Montreal 1 for 2 on the power play. Marin, Clément-Edra, and Deschênes up front. Chartrand and Aymar all on the back end. Richards, Fortino, Birchard, and Montgomery out there on the PK. And here's Birchard skating it out to center ice. 3-on-2 into the offensive zone. She goes wide right side, puts the brakes on, draws in a trio of Canadienne players. And now the puck will come over to the near side for Cathy Chartrand. Chartrand being bothered there by Fielding Montgomery. As we mentioned earlier, she has 2 shorthanded goals this season, and she is a speedster out there as she tries to go toe-to-toe with Marin, who drops it back to Chartrand, left side for Aymar. Karel Aymar at the left point, goes to the right side for Chartrand. Chartrand down low into the right wing faceoff circle for Clément-Edra. Cross ice now, Aymar. Aymar, left wing side. Pass in front for Marin. She couldn't redirect it in on goal as she was standing all alone in the slot. Birchard saw her at the last moment and could not get the shot away. Here's Chartrand back in her own zone as Julie Chu comes over the boards. The Willette, Poulin, and Bette line out there right now as Bette standing up at the Brampton blue line. Here is Poulin on the right wing side. Poulin slams the brakes on just inside the blue line. Back to the blue line she goes for Rougeau. Rougeau into the wrist shot! It was knocked down in front of the net as Howe did not see that puck. It did not get all the way through. And Brampton clears the puck down the ice. 45 seconds to go on the power play for Les Canadiennes. Rougeau starting the rush up left side with a pass ahead for Poulin. Goes up the middle for Willette. Willette has Bette on her right side, but she goes to Poulin. Poulin to Bette in the slot. Shoots! And a nice stop by Howe. The puck lays loose! And finally, the netminder for Brampton is able to freeze the disc with 32 seconds to go on the penalty kill.
Such a joy to watch a player like Caroline Willette work as she's coming in. She could have split the D. She had an option to go right to Bette, left to Poulin. She has a bit of a drop pass for Poulin, who manages to find Bette. Just a beautiful play right there, and it's so much fun to watch these three work together.
The number 1 PK unit back out there for Brampton against the top power play unit for Les Canadiennes. Bette give and go with Chu, who has it. Gives it to Rougeau. Tip pass for Poulin. Poulin down low for Willette. Cross crease pass for Bette. It skips over her stick. Chu with it. Back to Poulin at the right circle. 15 seconds to go in the power play. Back to Julie Chu. Left side. Chu down towards the goal. As she rolls it in on the net. Here's Rougeau. Rougeau to Poulin. Right side. 8 seconds to go in the power play. Poulin to two. Wrist shot goes wide. Penalty coming up here. And it is going to be, I think there's going to be two penalties here. A holding call, a holding the stick call coming up here. And it's going to go against Brampton, but Bette may have gotten a penalty as well. No, it is Bette getting the holding the stick call in front of the net, excuse me. So Brampton goes to its first power play of the game in 2 seconds.
It looked like Montgomery was perhaps headed to the box, and that's not somebody you want to have on the box. If you're on the power play, that's somebody you're going to want out there.
So in 2 seconds, Brampton goes to the power play. They are 15 of 78 on the season, 19.2% efficiency. Second in the CWHL, but against the Canadiennes, they are 1 for 18 this season. As this is their first power play of the game, that's 6%. And now they are on that power play as Jones has it on the left side. Jones into the slot, puck knocked away. Here's Bouchard with a shot from the left point, as Fortino has it at the right blue line now. Here's Rattray into the slot, down low. Jones with a shot, stopped by Lamonte. Big rebound, corralled by Jones. Back to the blue line it goes for Bouchard. Bouchard, left side, give and go with Rattray. Now to Fortino, right point with a shot through traffic. And a good job in front of the goal by Jones to get out of the way of that one to try and screen Lamonte, who was down in the butterfly, to make the stop.
Montreal looks so strong. Basically, anytime they have their special teams out there on the ice, whenever they're on the power play or they're on the penalty kill, even at even strength, let's get real. Montreal is such a really difficult team to play against, but it's really fun to watch them on the PK, and the big reason for that, Charlene Labonte. She doesn't let them get past her very often.
At the face-off, Chu plays it over to the near side. Willette will lift it out to center, and Brampton has to go back deep into their own zone. It will be Laura Fortino in the far corner, setting this rush up for Brampton, as she will start it straight up the middle in the defensive zone. Goes to Candace Style, left wing. Into the offensive zone she goes. She'll drop it. Actually, she'll play it ahead, She faked the drop pass and playing it in deep. Here's Jones in the far corner with it. Rattray battling there with Willette. And Jones. Puck pops free. Here's Jones drawing a pair of Canadienne defenders as the puck comes back to the line for Bouchard. Bouchard, left point. Now it's Fortino. Give and go with Bouchard. She fans on the pass as the puck comes out to center ice. That forces Brampton to clear the zone. Willette picks the pocket of Rattray, and she will lift the puck into the offensive zone. 40 seconds to go in the PK for the Canadiennes.
Something you don't see often from the Canadiennes is them just dumping the puck out, even when they're down a man. Usually you see someone like Marie-Philippe Poulin carry the puck in and generate some sort of scoring opportunity.
Here is Vint, the goal scorer for Brampton, on the left wing side of the offensive zone. She's hooked down. It loses the puck, as Chapman will play it over the far side. The puck comes back to the right point for Larac. Larac gives it to Richards. Richards down low for Vint. Behind Lynette McParlin now, near side, 10 seconds to go on the power play. Here's Edney, left point, takes the wrist shot, goes off of Noémie Marin into the far corner. As Mar will play it up the boards. Edney keeps it in as the Canadiennes have killed off the penalty. Bette is back on the ice. As we have just crossed the midway point of regulation time in a 1-1 draw. These two teams played to a 5-4 shootout yesterday afternoon in Boisbriand, and it was the Canadiennes who were the victors in that game. Aymar, bank pass off the boards. The angle was too sharp. Edney keeps it in. Here's Edney into the left wing corner. Edney looking for somebody in front. Comes out far side. Now will take the shot herself. And Labonte makes a stop with Montgomery standing on the doorstep.
Good for Montreal for killing off that penalty. Ann-Sophie Bette was doing so well at drawing penalties early in the game. She drew 2, giving Montreal 2 power play opportunities. And then she finds herself in the box. She's only human. She doesn't often find herself in the box, though, does Ann-Sophie Bette. That was only her 4th penalty of the season.
And all of them have come against Brampton. Little known fact.
There's definitely no love lost between these two teams. Dare I say, this is probably one of the fiercest rivalries in the CWHL.
Some great hockey that we've seen this weekend here in Montreal in the 6th and final installment of this battle this season. Good back check there by Marie-Philippe Poulin to strip Montgomery of the puck at center ice, but Fortino has it now for Brampton up the far side for King. She and Bro go to the wall. Here's Fortino towards the goal, a rising wrister that goes over the crossbar and out the near side. Here is Kim Deschênes playing it in the offensive zone. Starting to turn back into the track meet that we saw the first 10 minutes of the hockey game. Deschênes' centering pass is picked off there by Jones as there was nobody standing there in a red jersey for Les Canadiennes. Jones up to Rattray on the left wing side. Rattray to Jones, a shot! And Levante took that in the mask, and the puck dropped straight down between her legs, and she pounces on the puck to hold on for the whistle.
Good to see so many kids out here today. That's a few of them were just running behind us.
All of a sudden, the legs start giving it. What the heck just happened there?
We had some ankle biters.
Exactly. That's the beauty of CWHL hockey.
And up close and personal.
Well, and speaking of up close and personal, we're a lot closer to the action than we normally are.
Oh, yeah. Usually we've got a bird's eye view. This time we're right in the thick of things.
8 minutes to go in the second period here in Brossard, the final game of the season for Les Canadiens on the South Shore. As Clément Aydra brings it to the blue line, but Noémie Marin went offside as Clément Aydra made one last move at the blue line.
Way offside. I think Marin had a few strides in over the blue line before Clément Aydra managed to carry the puck in over, so that face-off will come outside the zone.
So face-off in neutral ice on the near side. And for those of you NHL fans, we'll give you a scoreboard update with the other team called Les Canadiennes in a few minutes' time as the puck is dumped in by Les Canadiennes into the offensive zone. Richards battling there with Peroff behind that. Peroff sent to the ice. Oh, big body check there by Bocchia as she tried to knock Richards down. McParlin has it. Ahead for Vint on the left wing side. She catches up to the puck. Vint tries to cut inside, but Julie Chu with a good job to knock her off the puck as Vint goes flying in behind Lynette. Here's Chu. The U.S. captain at the Sochi Games ahead for Bocchia. She has Blais on the right side. Bocchia with a wrist shot and Howe with the save.
Well, it looks like Montreal and Carolina still tied at 0 just a couple minutes into the first period at the Bell Center. Montreal having a huge win over the Edmonton Oilers yesterday. They didn't just beat the Edmonton Oilers, they lay the beat down on them, beating them 5-1, keeping Connor McDavid off the score sheet, coming into that game on a 5 home game losing streak. So huge victory for Montreal as they find themselves on the outside looking in for a playoff spot.
Whereas Les Canadiens have won 10 in a row coming into this game and 9 straight at home. In the various venues, whether it be the Centre Étienne Desmarteaux or here at Complexe Sportif Bell or in Boisbriand. So, you know, one of the two Canadian teams are doing well. It's one of the CWHL as Clément Aydra has it with a steal into the between the rings to Ouellette. Far side, and Marin can't jam the puck past Howe.
I don't think Marin was expecting the puck to poke out there. She didn't even have her stick on the ice. And kids, that's why you always want to keep your stick on the ice, ready to tip them in as they come to you.
So both teams will change things up with 6:53 to go in the second period. 1-1 the score between Brampton and Les Canadiennes.
Did I just say kids? I feel like I'm Don Cherry over here. Kids, you got to listen to me.
I wasn't going to say that, but you are wearing a high collar today.
Uh-oh.
Or maybe that's just your Denver jersey. Here's Betty at center off of the faceoff, has to back paddle up the far side for Deschênes. Montgomery steals the puck as it's Richards now skating back into her own zone under the watchful eye of Betty, who was the Gong Show Player of the Month for January in the CWHL, and an icing call against Brampton. Let's take a look at what our friend Ann-Sophie Betty did this month to earn the Gong Show Player of the Month. She had a great month, if I'm not mistaken.
6 goals, 9 assists in the month of January. These girls only play on weekends, you guys. She's leaps and bounds above everyone. She's second in the league in scoring behind only Marie-Philippe Poulin, the two of them combining together for so many goals this season for Montreal.
And Poulin, 6 goals and 7 points in the last 3 games. Many of them set up by Ann-Sophie Betty. So let's see what happens here as this game continues as Poulin has it. Down low for Deschênes. Back to Poulin. Poulin couldn't get it to the front of the net for Betty. She'll go cross ice at the left point for Bro. And Larac intercepts as she will play it to the vacant near wing for fielding Montgomery. Imar at her own blue line, ahead for Poulin, but Larac will play it back in deep with 5:50 to go in the second period. 1-1's the score. And a great game between these two longtime rivals of the CWHL. Bierschard back in her own zone, rolls it over to the near side, just out of the reach of Fortino. Ellie Seathouse waits for the puck to get to her, and she is able to clear it to the blue line, but not out as Bocchia keeps it in. Sherrard gives chase, Birchard back up the near side for Seedhouse. Battling there with Bocchia. Lachance steals. Here's a chance for the Canadiennes as Bocchia and Sherrard couldn't connect there. Chu banks it off of the near boards for Lachance. Leaves it there for Bocchia behind the net. Goes to Sherrard far side. Sherrard centering pass just out of the reach of Lachance as standing on the doorstep. Birchard lifted her stick. Here's a pass down low. Wraparound attempt for Sherrard. That hit the side of the net. The puck is up on the dashers. McParlin will clear it ahead for Vint, and it's out to center. So Brampton able to relieve the pressure a bit, but not able to get a line change here. As back the other way, here's Lorianne Rougeau. Rougeau in, wrist shot, and Howe will take it in the right chest, and then she will hold on for the whistle.
I always love watching goaltenders make a save, and you can always tell when they're not quite sure where the puck is because they freeze like a statue. Because it's better to do that than to sort of let up and let yourself relax and have the puck trickle in and squeeze through your pads across the goal line.
Willett at the left point with a rising wrist shot that goes over the crossbar. Jones will lift at the blue line, knocked down again by Willett. Willett brings it to the right wing half boards and plays it in deep. Here is Whitaker off the back of the net, far side for Larac, the captain for Brampton. Off the glass, and it goes off of Charton's glove and into the Canadiens bench, so the face-off will come out in neutral territory.
Narrowly missing Emmanuelle Blais, I might add, as the puck just sort of goes over her left shoulder.
Well, we mentioned that Brampton last year finished last in the CWHL. They were 6-16-2 last year. They're 14-5-1 this season as Larac takes a wrist shot that is gloved down by Labonte. The big rebound up the far side. Here's Rattray. Rattray with it. Centering pass, nobody there. Willett turns it over. Here's Jones spinning and firing. And Charton will knock it into the near corner. Styles, centering pass. Out in front for Jones. She's held up there just enough for Willett to come up with the puck. She'll play it ahead for Marin. Right wing side for Clément Edra. Into the offensive zone. Clément Edra towards the goal, and Marin tips it just wide of the net. The rebound goes to the far side. Carly Hill couldn't wrap it into the empty cage. Great scoring chance there for the Canadiens as Vint will lift the puck up off the glass and out to center. So 15-point improvement for Brampton over a year ago, and a big check as Larac is barreled over by Oles at the blue line. Incidental contact ruled by the officials. McParlin has it in her own zone. Behind that, pocket pick there by Emmanuelle Blais. Blais with it, leaves it for Amar, but Amar was coming in to the right wing corner. And the puck comes out to center ice. Amar has to go back deep in her own zone.
A couple of missteps there from Carol Amard, who didn't really seem to have good communication with her partner.
Pass up the left side, gets out to center as Edney is there. Paroff slashes at her, and here's Leslie Oles pushing the puck into the offensive zone. Could have been offside because Blais lifted up her back leg, but Richards is back the other way for Brampton. Richards in towards the front of the goal. McParlin tips it just wide on the near side. McParlin still with the puck behind the net, brings it back out to the left point. Simmons with a wrist shot, knocked down, and back the other way. Here comes Emmanuelle Blais. Blais, solo player rush. She has Paroff trailing. Blais in, shoots through traffic, and a rising wrister hits the netminder Howe in the mask, and she did not expect that puck to get through by her obvious reaction by taking the puck in the upper body.
No, she went down on that when she should have stayed up, and that's a common mistake that goaltenders make. You'll see them drop to their knees expecting the puck to stay low along the ice, and I think a lot of goal scorers know that, and they'll aim top corner, which is exactly what just happened there with that Blais shot.
Poulin, Bette, and Deschamps out there with Chu and Rougeau on the blue line for the Canadiennes as Fortino controls. Styles, Jones, and Rattray out there up front for Brampton. So they've been able to get away from the line matching that the Canadiens were looking to do earlier on in the hockey game. As Bette has it. Bette up the near side for Poulin. She'll gain the blue line, trying to get around the blue liner Birchard, who knocks her down. Poulin comes up with it. Bette is spun around in the right wing face-off circles as there's a stick laying on the ice, and Brampton will clear the puck out to center. 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the second period. 1-1 the score. All the scoring coming in a 26-second span in the first period as Deschamps steps into the drive. Kick saved by Howe. Rebound is sent towards the goal by Bette, and Howe holds on.
And after the second period, I'll be joined hopefully by Rebecca Vint of the Brampton Thunder. She's had quite the game herself. She finds herself on the ice quite a lot this season. She's doing very well. We were talking about their improvement in the standings, and a large reason for that is Rebecca Vint. 11 goals, 7 assists on the season, +5. 3 power play goals. She's an offensive threat, so hopefully we'll get a chance to chat with her during the second intermission.
Clément Aydra battling there with a pair of Thunder. As Larac plays it up the near side for Montgomery. Montgomery, King, Marin, Hill, and Clément Aydra battling for the puck. It comes free. Larac will spin between the rings in front of her own goal. Goes out the far side for Becca King. She overskates the puck. Larac seals it off by Ouellette. And Chartrand will backhand it deep into the offensive zone. 1:30 to go in the second period. Still knotted up at 1. Snake eyes on the scoreboard here in Brassard. Larac banks it off the boards for King. Bothered there by Chartrand. And back the other way comes Marin. Marin has Aydra Clément going towards the goal. The shot on goal is stopped, and that should be Clément Aydra, not the other way around. As Howe makes the stop and holds on.
Brampton in general has been so much better this season. Not just Rebecca Vint, but you're seeing firepower like Jessica Jones, Jamie Lee Rattray, all-star. These are girls that just bring all-world talent, and they really shored up their back end by drafting Sarah Edney this year, and they're just scoring a lot more goals than they have in seasons past.
So off the face-off, the Canadiennes control. Rougeau with a try, scores! Lauriane Rougeau from the left point. 2-1 Canadiennes. What a blast by Lauriane Rougeau from the left point through traffic at 18:55 of the second period. And the Canadiennes will take a 2-1 lead here late in the middle stanza. A great back pass to her. She was standing about 5 feet atop of the left wing face-off circle, and she just blasted it past Howe. Seathouse into the offensive zone right off of the draw. And the puck is cleared down the ice. An icing call coming up to Les Canadiennes. So Rougeau's second of the season. And that brings a huge roar from the crowd here in Brassard. We'll get the assist in just a moment. Deschênes with 1 assist. As Poulin will face it off against Vince. Bette plays it to the far side, so Deschênes with the only assist on the goal at 18:55 of the second period. Here is Bette up the near boards, just out of the reach of Poulin. Birchard to the far side for Seathouse. Seathouse overskates the puck at the blue line. And Rougeau, who just scored, plays it ahead. Good play by Fortino, or else that could have been a 2-on-0 for Les Canadiennes. Here's Birchard, back the other way. The left wing corner, battling there with Julie Chu. Centering pass, here's Fortino. Top of the slot, takes a shot. It pinballs in front of a couple of skates. And now a bouncing pass in front of the goal. And I'm not sure how Vint did not score on the doorstep, other than maybe the fact that she was barreled over by Lauriane Rougeau as she was swiping at the puck. And Vint comes close to getting her second goal of the hockey game, which would have knotted things up late here in period number 2. .6 seconds to go in the second period. Face off to the right of Charlene Labonte. Marin takes the draw against Candace Stiles. And Montréal controls. Here's Ouellette skating out to center. Just under 10 seconds to go in the period. She will play the puck gingerly into the left wing corner as time will roll down towards zeros and expire as Katia Clément Aydra and Edney battle for the puck in the near corner. So a blast from the left point by Lauriane Rougeau at 18:55 from Kim Deschênes gives Les Canadiennes a 2-1 lead after 40 minutes of play here in Brassard this afternoon. A very entertaining game thus far, as we'll wait to get an update on the shots on goal. The one thing we do not have here in Brassard is a shots on goal clock available to us, so we have to pull it up off of the CWHL website, which is where you can go and get all of the game summaries all season long. A reminder that the Canadiennes will be heading to Calgary next weekend for a pair of games against the Calgary Inferno, Saturday and Sunday. Both games here on CWHL Live. Brampton will be back in the GTA taking on Toronto next Sunday afternoon. shots on goal in that second period favor Les Canadiennes by a margin of 12-7 for a game total of 25-12. And Les Canadiennes lead 2-1 after 40 minutes of play. The power plays thus far in the hockey game, Brampton 0 for 1 on the advantage. Les Canadiennes 1 for 3 on the hockey game. As we are awaiting Robin Flynn, who is going to be standing by in just a few moments' time. I believe now it's actually going to be with Ann-Sophie. We're going to send it right down to Robin right now. Robin, take it away.
Thanks, John. I'm here with January's Gong Show CWHL Player of the Month, Ann-Sophie. What do you see in the second period? You guys managed to get up 2-1 late in the period.
I mean, that's what we needed. It's going to hurt them, I think, having a goal. The game has been so close that now having a goal right before the period, I think that's what we needed, and then we're going to keep the build from that in the third period.
I know that you and Jess Jones on the ice seem to have a lot of rivalry there. You want to just talk a little bit about where that started? Is that new today?
Honestly, I have no idea. Yesterday I got hit from her in the overtime, and today again she tried to hit me. She got a penalty over there, face mask. So I think it's part of the game. We're physical, and if you have it's not legal, then you're going to get 2 minutes, and that's what you got from her.
One thing they really noticed from you is that you're able to draw penalties. You get other people to hit you, but you just walk away and skate to the bench. How do you stay so calm, cool, and collected?
I mean, we got to put the team first, and I know our power plays have been doing great, and I think it's just a matter of trying to capitalize on those chances and being able to draw the penalties like that.
If you guys manage to win today, you'll have a 6-point cushion at the top of the standings. Is that something that you think about as the season goes on? You want to finish first?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's been our goal since the beginning of the season, and now that it's possible, I think every points are important, and we showed it yesterday. We came back with character. We got to show it today with attitude and character as well.
Thanks so much. Have a good third, Anso.
Thank you.
Back to you, John.
Thank you very much, Robin Flynn. The Canadiennes lead the Brampton Thunder by a score of 2-1 after 40 minutes of play here in Brassard. We will give you an out-of-town scoreboard in just a few moments' time. Here in Brassard, it's 2-1 for Les Canadiennes, but in Toronto, the Furies lead the Boston Blades by a score of 3-2, and that is after 40 minutes of play. In fact, actually, there's 11 minutes to go in the hockey game. 3-2 is the score, 45-19 the shots on goal in favor of the Furies. When we come back, our second period intermission rolls along. From Brassard, it's 2-1 for Les Canadiennes. You're watching CWHL Live.
Kimmy, you do know that there's only 4 seasons, right?
Then how do you explain the way kids wish away the summer because we can't wait to play in the fall? Or how teammates often become best mates? Or how families happily vacation in Winnipeg in January because that's where the tournament is? So you see, Miss Woods, there is a 5th season, and it's the best season in Canada.
So you're talking about hockey?
Oh, it's more than just talking, Miss Woods.
Scotiabank is proud to support over 5,000 teams in Canada's 5th season.
100% énergie. 100% passion. 100% effort. Pourtant, les femmes n'ont que 5% de visibilité. Les producteurs laitiers canadiens croient que les athlètes féminines devraient être vues et entendues haut et fort. Avec Nourrir la passion du sport féminin, nous célébrons les athlètes féminines de tous les niveaux. Joignez-nous à Vive le sport féminin.
When I was 7, I wore these gloves. They held this stick. Well, these skates carried me over the blue line. We won the championship, and now it's all yours. Cool. Oh, and this mouth guard. I'll get my own. Thanks.
The 5th season is when spirit for the game gets passed down. That's why we're proud to support over 5,000 teams.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the program. Now the local Montreal Stars of the Canadian Women's Hockey League are now part of a whole new galaxy. The team has joined forces with the Montreal Canadiennes to leverage their brand and encourage the development of women's hockey here in Quebec. Take a look. A new agreement between the Montreal Canadiens and the Canadian Women's Hockey League is letting the Stars shine.
We're very proud of this partnership. You are an example to many of the young girls who are starting to play hockey. Our intent is to put the Montreal Canadiens marketing machine behind you to make hockey more important in Quebec, especially girls hockey and women's hockey, and to help grow the sport.
On a tous et toutes rêvé de jouer pour la Canadienne de Montréal un jour puis de gagner une Coupe Stanley. Malheureusement, c'est pas arrivé encore. Par contre, on est libre. On n'a pas de contrat encore.
This agreement is meant to raise the profile of the Stars by associating with one of the most storied franchises in the world. The Stars are the 3rd team in the league to join with their NHL counterparts, following in the footsteps of Calgary and Toronto.
It's just a matter of growing the game and growing the number of players here in Quebec, 7,000 compared to about 30 in Ontario. So there's still a lot of work to do here, and that's why an association with the Habs here, I really believe in our sport and they want to be part of it.
Just the visibility. A lot of people talk about women's hockey once every 4 years. The Olympics are so big, but I wonder, do they ask where those girls are playing the rest of the years? Just having more, as I said, visibility and just that people know about us and who we are. That we walk on the street and we say, do you know who the Montreal Stars is?
The Canadiens will be offering their expertise in marketing, advertising, and helping to promote the team. The most noticeable changes will be the team's name and jersey design. There's one goal that is yet to be achieved: turning the Stars into a moneymaker for the players.
I think with a league that's still growing, we don't have any full-time members that are actually paid of each team. So everyone's a volunteer, and we have an amazing staff, but it's really difficult to really get out into the communities as much as we want to.
The agreement seems especially appropriate when looking at the similarities between the two teams. The Stars are the most successful CWHL team, taking home 3 of the 8 Clarkson Cup titles, while the Canadiens are obviously famously known for their record of 24 Stanley Cups. While there are a wealth of Olympians on both teams, Montreal is making its case for being the best goaltending city in the world, currently boasting 2 Olympic gold medalists.
Yeah, it's cool. Obviously, it gives some of the best female players in Canada and the world a home to play. It's really good to see them get an opportunity, and it speaks volumes of the organization here to step up and help them out.
I watch Olympics. I was pretty into it. Obviously excited when Canada won, but that's pretty much as I follow. I've got a few. I played with some girls growing up, and I check in on how they're doing. They're over in colleges and stuff like that. So you want to see them do well and hopefully eventually represent their country.
While many kids look up to Montreal's greatest players, the Stars are hoping that soon there will be room for new idols in the boys' club.
I think a huge part of getting young girls into the rink and thinking that they can actually play hockey too is to see it. When you have role models that are strong, confident women that are playing great level of hockey, you're able to have these young girls coming to the stands and see them and maybe want to emulate them. And then they'll be able to go home and say, hey, can I try this sport? And now giving them some resources to be able to do it in their local communities.
Well, they have the chance to look up to girls and having that dream to play in our NHL, which is the CWHL. I think it's a great opportunity, and if I could, I would go back as a little kid and then redo it all over again. But right now we're kind of writing history for them, and it's kind of undescribable, but it's actually amazing. I hope one day somebody's going to say, hey, I want to be like her.
2-1, les Canadiennes lead the Brampton Thunder after 40 minutes of play here at the Complexe Sportif Bell in Brassard, Quebec. On a goal by Lorraine Rougeau, her second of the season at 18:55 from Kim Deschênes. That was at the end of the second period. Let's run down the scoring summary while we have a moment. Marie-Philippe Poulin, her 20th of the season on the power play from Caroline Ouellette and Julie Chu at 16:06 of the first period opened up the scoring. But then Rebecca Vint responded 20 seconds later at 16:26 unassisted, her 13th of the season, to tie things up at 1 apiece after 20 minutes of play in the Rougeau at 18:55 from Deschênes. That's where we stand after 40 minutes of play. Shots on goal in the second period in favor of Montreal, 12-7, giving Montreal a game total of 25 and Brampton a game total of 12. So Robin Flynn, the Canadienne, up by a goal after 40 minutes of play in what has been a very fast-paced, up-tempo contest. If Brampton's going to come back in this hockey game, who's going to be the key players for them?
Well, I think Rebecca Vint would have to be their key player. She's looked really good today. And you never know what a girl like Jess Jones or Jamie Lee Rattray can do to take the game under their own wing. But Jess Jones seems a little preoccupied today with her battle that she's got going on with Ann-Sophie Bété, who talked about it just after the second period, that this seems to be a new rivalry between the two of them. She said she hit her in yesterday's game, and ever since then she's been all over her, trying to hit her. Seems like Jess Jones has lost a little bit of focus. Maybe she should focus a little bit more on this hockey game and a little bit less on Ann-Sophie Bété.
In the other game in the CWHL this afternoon, Toronto is on top 4-2 on Boston.
Yeah, with just under 5 minutes left to play in the third period. I could have called that one. I don't think Boston's going to win 2 more hockey games between now and the end of the season. And if we're looking over at the NHL, the Habs are down 1-0 to the Carolina Hurricanes with a couple minutes left to play in the first period. Jeff Skinner's 19th of the season.
You didn't mention the Leafs.
I didn't even look.
Oh, they're not playing, so it's okay.
There's only 3 games today in the NHL as everybody has got their Super Bowl Sunday party hats on. I'm sure all the boys in the NHL are drinking some beers and eating some nachos as they get ready for the big Panthers-Broncos matchup tonight.
And of course, here in Brassard, after this game's done, you'll be heading off to your big Super Bowl party, I'm assuming.
Yep, every year got to go out and watch the Super Bowl. It's a little bit more stressful this year because I am a Broncos fan, so it's always nerve-wracking when your team is in the Super Bowl, especially going up Cam Newton and the Panthers, who only lost one game all season long. It's going to be a tough road, but man, I want to see Peyton go out on top, and I think if he wins the Super Bowl today, he retires.
Listen, I'm a Bills fan, so you know, four straight losses.
And a Leafs fan.
Yeah.
Do you even remember what winning is like?
I'm a Blue Jays fan as well, and a Canadiennes fan.
Oh, that's true.
So yes.
Canadiennes remind us what winning is like all the time.
Vint will face it off against Clément Edra, and we're underway in the third period. 2-1, the Canadiennes leading Brampton as Larac has it on the far side. A pass for Sarah Edney, and she'll play it into the offensive zone. Julie Chu back to play it for the Canadiennes. She'll roll it over to the near side for Willette. Willette bounces it off of the boards. At center, Larac intercepts, pass up the left wing side for Ellie Seedhouse. Seedhouse giving chase. Chu back to play it. Over to the near side for Rougeau. Rougeau will reverse, back down low for Julie Chu. Far side intended for Marin. Had her pocket picked there by Candace Stiles, but a good play by Chu. Gets Marin the puck, and now she will play it ahead for Willette. Just inside the blue line, she puts the brakes on, drops it back for Chartrand. The puck will bounce out to center and brought back in on the laid offside. That allows Brampton to bring it out on uncontested. Here's Rattray into the offensive zone from Candace Stiles, but she couldn't get a shot away as Chartrand knocked the puck into the corner. Rattray on the near side. Goes back for Stiles. It was just out of her reach as actually Stiles' stick got caught up in behind her, and Brampton backpedals to their own blue line. Fortino's clearing pass, intercepted by Poulin, but she could not get free as Jones was with her. Now Fortino over to the near boards. Rattray tries to clear it out. Chartrand goes hard to the boards to keep it in. Here's Poulin with the steal. Poulin back to Chartrand. Chartrand, wrist shot through traffic, tipped in on goal by Bette. And a kick saved there by Howe. Here's Stiles up the near side. Rattray drops it back for Fortino. Over to the left side for Birchard. She comes over to the near wing for Rattray. Head full of steam into the offensive zone. Cuts across the green into the slot. Tries to feather it through for Birchard, but the puck hit her in the back of the skate. And Carly Hill has it for the Canadiens. Ahead for Leslie Olds at center. One-on-one with Whitaker. Olds goes wide, slams the brakes on, looking for somebody to help her. And now she'll play it over to the vacant left wing side. Broke catches up to it, slides it towards the goal. It goes off of Richard's stick. Puck comes out in front of the net now. But Brampton will clear it as Fielding Montgomery has it on the left wing side. She gains center and plays it into the offensive zone. Lamonte back to play it. Tips it over to the far corner for Peroff. Peroff down low for Emar in her own zone. Emar will start it up on the far side. Skating it to the right wing circle. And at center ice, now Brampton sets up a wall as Richard sends it back into Canadian territory. Far side, Becca King leaves it for Larac. Winding, shooting, and Richards was in front, couldn't get her stick on it to tip it in on goal. Whitaker at the near point for Fielding Montgomery at the half boards. Richards knocked down from behind by Amar, and Richards is slow to get up. In fact, she's not getting up along the boards. Here's Whitaker with it. Whitaker, wrist shot goes wide of the mark. Puck goes to the far side. Vint is the extra attacker out there for Brampton. Richards very, very slow to get up. She's now upright and will be helped by Becca King. And Vint skate towards the Brampton bench.
If I had to guess, I'd say that's upper body ailment right there, as her legs seem to be just fine. She's doubled over. Not sure if she's just winded or maybe she looks to be favoring her right arm a little bit. But she heads to the bench, not to the locker room, so she'll probably just shake it off.
Karel Emar gets the gate. 17-12 to go here in the third period. 2-1. The Canadiens lead. Let's set up the power play here for you. Is this? So they have to put an extra attacker in there, so there may be a misconduct on top of that as Sarah Lachance comes in. So Rattray, Stiles, and Jones up front. Fortino and Birchard on the back end for the Thunder. Willette, Chu, Rougeau, and Poulin on the penalty kill for the Canadiens. Here is Fortino on the near half boards. Give and go with Birchard. Back to Fortino. She will exchange positions now with her at the top of the umbrella. Birchard fires a slap shot. Her stick breaks, and now she has to go to the bench, and that allows the Canadiens to get it out to center ice. Willette knocks down her player, Rattray. Willette with it. Willette in shorthanded. Shoot, scores! Caroline Ouellet, 5-hole, short-handed, 3-1 Canadiennes.
That's Caro's second shorthanded goal of the season. Montreal has scored quite a few shorthanded goals. I was actually expecting to see Shorty in this game, but I thought it would maybe come from the Brampton Thunder, who are really good shorthanded. They more often than not manage to find the back of the net when they are lacking somebody. But this time around, Caroline Ouellet scores her second of the game.
No, her first of the game.
Her first of the game. She assisted.
That's correct. She assisted on the first goal of the game. So time of the goal, 3 minutes and 24 seconds. Short-handed. Well, that's 12th of the season. But the Canadiens. So unassisted goal by Caroline Ouellet, who went pretty much end to end on that rush and slid it behind Howe through the 5-hole. Here's McParland starting the rush up on the power play for the Thunder. She brings it into the right wing side, and a late whistle on an offside call.
Man, Caroline Ouellet, sometimes I feel like she can almost score at will. She just steps out onto the ice and says, okay, that's enough of that. I'm just going to take control right here and find the back of the net. And I feel like that was a big statement move from her right there when, you know, you've got Amar taking a bad penalty, really. That was a penalty she shouldn't have taken in on that corner. And Caroline Ouellet says, you know what, girls, don't worry about it. We're still in this one.
Rodray Jones and Stiles still up front. Birchard and Fortino on the blue line. The second PK unit out there for the Canadiens. Chacun, Hill on the blue line, and it is Blais and Perov as the forwards. Here's the pass in front. Jones couldn't get the shot away as Carly Hill came sliding across to block the puck. And now the Canadiens will lift the puck down in on Howe. Perov on the forecheck. Forces Howe to play it to Stiles. Stiles overskates it. Perov locks her up along the wall with 30 seconds to go on the penalty kill for the Canadiens. Puck pops free. Poulin is there, and she gathers it in for the Canadiens. She will rag the puck back out to center ice as she dangles the puck. Almost had it stolen there by Rattray, but here's Poulin back into the offensive zone. Drop pass, Betty shooting! Kick saved by Howe, and Birchard will play it into the corner behind the net on the far side as the Canadiens come close to netting a second shorthanded goal on the same penalty, as coming back onto the ice now is Sarah Lachance for Aymar. So Aymar did get a misconduct penalty to go with the 2-minute boarding call earlier in this period. Julie Chu back penalty at her own blue line, ahead for Marie-Philippe Poulin to Bette, who will chip it into the offensive zone. Birchard lifts the puck over the glass, another play, and that will be an delay of game penalty against the Brampton Thunder.
Well, you talked about Bette and Poulin almost scoring a second shorthanded goal. The last time the Canadiens played a game here at the Bell Sports Complex in Brossard, they scored 2 shorthanded goals on the same penalty. That was against the Boston Blades. This time, Brampton Thunder, they managed to keep them down to just 1 shorthanded goal on that penalty.
So the Canadiens have scored, well, they've got the hat trick today. Even strength, Shorty, and a power play marker, and they're back on the advantage on the delay of game penalty to Birchard. Morin, Deschênes, and Oles up front. Carly Hill and Chacun on the blue line. On the penalty kill for Brampton, it will be Vince alongside Richards up front. And on the blue line, Edney and Fortino, I believe.
Young kid in a Tavares jersey just had the bejesus scared out of him as that puck went into the stands. Nearly took his head off, but he seems happy because he's the one that gets to keep the puck.
They're waiting for the penalty to come up on the scoreboard here. That's the delay. And there it is. So the officials are happy, and we are ready to get back underway here with 14:55 to go in the third period. Glad you're along with us here on this Super Sunday. Our next game on CWHL Live comes your way Saturday night when the Canadiens take on the Calgary Inferno from Winsport in Calgary. Here's Chacun. Top of the slot, dishes off left side for Carly Hill. Back to Chacun. Give and go with Hill to the left side. Hill to Chacun, right point, shot through traffic. Big rebound as it is cleared to the far side by Edney. Oles with it for the Canadiens. Back to the line for Chacun. Chacun walks the line over to the left side. Wrist shot through traffic. Big rebound. Oh, and Deschênes is stymied by Howe as she tried to slide the puck into the empty cage, but Howe gets out her big right pad to make the stop and keep the score 3-1. Canadiens still on the power play. 26 seconds left. And here's Vint. Vint has the first goal of the game. Short-handed. Going towards the goal. Vint shoots. Scores!
Wow. Rebecca Vint scoring her second of the game. Canadiennes and the Brampton Thunder exchanging shorthanded goals in this one, just a few minutes apart. They come to within one of Les Canadiennes shorthanded. They're still on the power play. They could tie this game up.
So 5 minutes and 45 seconds, the time of the goal. 2 shorthanded goals, 2 minutes and 21 seconds apart in this hockey game.
Must be something about this rink. It just loves shorties.
So the Canadiens still on the power play here. 14-10 to go in the third period. 3-2, Montréal on top. Here is Willette on the left wing side. Willette behind the goal she goes. Feathers it out in front. Rougeau's shot goes wide. Here is Rougeau. Down low left side. Bette centering pass. Comes back to the line for Poulin. Poulin will dish it off to Rougeau. Down low Bette. Bette. Willette shooting. Stop. Rebound. Comes free. And then getting her pad on it was Erica Howe. So 3-2 the score.
This has been a crazy weekend in hockey for the Canadiennes and the Brampton Thunder. I think we've grown so accustomed to watching the Canadiennes dominate in every single game that they're in that when they find themselves in a hockey game with some actual stiff competition, it's almost a little surprising.
Well, these are the types of games that you have to win in order to win the Clarkson Cup.
Absolutely.
The Clarkson Cup Championship coming up in a little over a month's time in Ottawa, as these two teams jockeying for positioning in the tournament. As we know, Toronto's 4, but the top 3 teams could shake down in a number of different manners over the coming weeks. Here's Julie Chu on the power play, left point, slap shot, stopped by Howe, big rebound, gathered in by Rougeau. To Chu, 21 seconds to go in the power play. To Poulin, right point, back to Chu at the left side. Chu into the face-off circle, drop pass, drop back for Poulin, who hammers it well wide of the cage. Poulin goes hard to the far boards, keeps it in. Here's Bette now, battling with Edney. Edney has her pocket picked by Bette, and Vint will lift the puck up into the rafters and out of play. It's in the defensive zone. Now, I think it may have gone off of a Canadien player and out of play. The officials conversing. Now, here's the thing. It could not have gone off of a Canadien player if the face-off is in the defensive zone, but it did not go over the glass. It went straight up into the rafters, so that must be why there's no penalty on the play.
No, Sarah Edney just sort of lifted that one a little too high up.
And that was at the end of the Brampton penalties, so both teams kill off their penalty in the third period and pick up a shorthanded tally. Here's Ratteray on the right side into the offensive zone, slams the brakes on just inside the blue line. Feathers it in on goal, looking for Jones in front, kicked aside by Levante. Here is Chatran, left wing. Up the middle for Peroff. Sidesteps the check. It's a 3-on-2 for the Canadiens. She'll dish it off left side for Blais. Peroff goes to the front of the goal. So does Bacchia. Blais over to the far side. Back to the blue line it goes. Now for Carly Hill. Cross ice left point for Chatran. Chatran into the slot. Chatran, wrist shot through traffic. Blais tried to knock it towards the goal with her shoulder, and it's a 3-on-1 back the other way for Brampton. Here's Fortino on the right side. Fortino. High pass across for Rattray is going low, was Carly Hill on a good defensive play. So no solid scoring chance for Brampton as the shot still came in on Levante, but she was down to the butterfly and was able to make the shoulder stop. Just under 12 minutes to go in the third period. 3-2 the score in favor of Les Canadiennes. Chelsea Saunders at center for the CH. Gives it to Rougeau. Rougeau off of La Chance, and it goes into the near corner. Birchard back to play it. She'll play it up the boards for King, off of the stick of Fortino. King, Becca King will skate to the blue line, stick check from behind by Willette, and an offside call against the Thunder.
What a play from Willette to force that offside right there with that stick check coming up from behind. Didn't even see what was coming her way. When I was down at rinkside just after the second period, I noticed that Sarah Edney has bright purple hair. Something we don't really notice from up here. It just looks like maybe some brown reddish hair, but it is bright purple. So if you're planning on catching up with Sarah Edney at any point, it shouldn't be too hard to pick her out.
Poulin on the right side takes a wrist shot that is kicked aside by Howe. The rebound goes behind the net. And on the near side, Chelsea Saunders with the steal. Poulin to Bette. Wrist shot, good stop there by Howe in the butterfly as she reached out with her left glove to snare that puck.
She's looked really good this afternoon, considering she wasn't even expecting to get the start and goal. Of course, she's coming in relief because Liz Knox had to leave about halfway through the first period after what looked like overextending her right leg. And I would say that Howe has looked very, very good this afternoon, especially considering how many shots she's faced.
Lowe with a rising slapper right over the center of the net that could have taken off the head of Howe. And the puck comes out to center ice, just inside the Canadienne blue line. Here is Seedhouse. Seedhouse has Edney going towards goal. A pass just out of her reach as Julie Chu is standing there as well, trying to knock the puck away. Back the other way come the Canadienne. Bette plays it in the offensive zone and an offside call. Last weekend was the Vaincons le Cancer du Sein fundraiser by the Canadiennes. And Robin, we have a final tally on how much was raised.
Yeah, the Canadiennes set a record for themselves in their 6th year of doing the fundraiser. $14,000 was raised for the Cedars Breast Clinic at the MUHC. Usually they hit somewhere around 10, 11,000. So that was really awesome to see that now over the last 6 years, they have donated over $60,000 to help women with breast cancer.
So we'd like to thank all of our viewers who bid on the silent auction items, who were involved, who made a donation to the Cedars Breast Cancer Center here in Montreal. A great worthy cause that the Canadiennes and most of the teams in the CWHL are involved in at some point in the season. So thank you again for all of your generous support last weekend in our annual Pink the Rink game. Here is Stiles in on the right side, a weak backhander that Labonte had a tough time handling it, but the puck bounced wide of the cage. Stiles being locked up there by Chu. As Jones has it, she'll rim it around the boards behind the net. Rattray leaves it for Stiles, who's coming off the out of the left wing corner. Jones has it. Jones centering. Pass goes off of a skate in front of the net towards the goal. It went off of Bro in front of the goal. Now Julie Chu intercepts a shot by Birchard, and then she springs Clément Aydra away at center, and the Canadiens are just onside. As a good play there by Marin to keep her skate down. But back the other way come the Thunder with Stiles, the shot that just goes wide of the near post. The pass out to center, intercepted by King. She brings it back in for the Thunder, who start to pick up the pace a little bit more on the forecheck here, down by a goal with 9:45 to go in the third period. Oles will lift the puck down the ice, and an icing charge against the Canadiens as she had not gained the center red line.
Something the Canadiens seem to be struggling with a little bit today that I have not noticed previously is that they seem to have difficulty staying on side, which is something that I'm not used to seeing, and particularly Kim Deschênes. This is her 4th game on that top line. She's having a hard time staying on side. Katja Clément-Aydra and Noémie Marin not reading each other very well, and that's led to a few offside calls that maybe would have turned into scoring chances.
And it may be because the crossing plays are being made right at the blue line instead of just inside the line, but that's Brampton also doing a really nice job coming up and forcing Montreal to make that crossing pattern just in front of the blue line. Here is Blais on the right wing side at center. Has the puck stolen by Fielding Montgomery. Chartrand back in her own zone over to Carly Hill near side. Becca King goes to the boards hard with her. And now Fielding Montgomery comes in with Leslie Oles. Hill will reverse it to the far side. Richards with it for Brampton, tries to play it around Chartrand. Perroff comes up with it for the Canadiens, and Chartrand will shovel the puck out to center ice with 9 minutes to go in regulation time. A shot in on Labonte. She fields it and will play it over to Carly Hill, who skates it out to center. Pass for Perroff just out of her reach. No icing on the play as Whitaker touched the puck as it rolled back down into Brampton territory. Edney up the near side, clearing it out to center ice as Marie-Philippe Poulin settles it down, plays it back to Bro. Bro up the middle for it's intercepted actually by McParland. She'll play it to the far side. Seedhouse and Deschênes battling for it. Chu picks it out of the pile and will get it up to Deschênes. Puck cleared back into Montreal territory on the laid offside, so that allows Rougeau to get it to Poulin. She is stripped of the disc just inside the blue line by McParland, but Chu is there and she will play it down the ice. Edney back for Brampton, far side. She'll turn it over as Deschênes has it, centering pass. Goes off of Edney, backhand shot by Poulin, does not get through. As a dangerous chance by the league's top scorer. As Chu will hammer the puck back in on the laid offside. That allows the Canadiens to go for a line change as the puck is sent all the way down the ice, and it's going to go far enough for an icing. No, it'll be waved off at the last moment as the lines person on the far side ruled that Cathy Chartrand did not make enough of an effort to get to the puck. Here's Clément Aydra across for Willette. The puck hits her in the skate, and back the other way comes King. King ahead to Rattray, right wing side into the offensive zone. Rattray trying to go towards the goal, but Hill was there to stand her up. Birchard at the point, far side. Plays it into the corner, Marin with it. She's bothered by the an attacker, and Brampton has it. Fortino fakes the shot, now gives it to Birchard. Birchard rolls it through towards the goal! Rattray overskated the puck as she had a juicy rebound, standing about 4 feet away from the cage. Jones now in neutral ice, backhanding it towards the line, and Chartrand has it. 7:10 to go in the third period. 3-2 the score in the hockey game. A pair of shorthanded goals for each team in this third period has brought us to this mark as Leslie Old's wrist shot is gloved by Howe.
The difference maker in this game, I think, is that we haven't seen Marie-Philippe Poulin's name pop up on the score sheet yet today, and I think that that's in large part because Brampton has really been shutting her down and not allowing her to generate a whole lot. And there are a lot of really great stick checks and just some plays that have been forcing her off her game. She can't really find any clear passes to Ann-Sophie Bété, making this very difficult for her. And if she's not on the score sheet, it's difficult for the Canadiennes.
Bacchia plays it over to the near side for Emmanuelle Blais. She will get towards the blue line, but has the puck knocked off her stick by Sarah Edney. On the follow-up, Chu plays it in deep. Larac back to play it for the Thunder. And then she is thrown to the ice by Bacchia as the puck comes over to the near side. In the defensive zone for the Thunder. Nice little spinorama by Richards as she plays it up the left side for Larac. Larac wrists it, cross-ice dump into the right wing corner. Chu back to play it for the Canadiennes. Over to Bro. She tries to reverse to the near side. King goes to the wall and came up with it momentarily, but Jordana Peroff on the follow-up will take it towards the middle of the rink. Puck hits a skate and now will come out to center ice as Fielding Montgomery plays it back to Fortino. Left side, give and go with Birchard back to Fortino. Middle of her own defensive zone, plays it off the near boards. Bacchia intercepts ahead for Bété. Bété plays it down low into Brampton territory as we approach the 14-minute mark of the third period. Still 3-2 in favor of Les Canadiennes. Rougeau, backhand pass, far side for Carly Hill. Her clearing attempt hits Vint, and on the second attempt, Carly Hill connects with Bété. Cross-ice dump into the right wing corner as Birchard goes back to play it for Brampton. Birchard starts to rush up, coming out to the near side, uses a screen there, and still has a handle on it. Birchard up the far side, just out of the reach of Seathouse as she was stick checked there by Carly Hill. And back into her own zone, that's Laura Fortino for Brampton. Vint now, who just has scored 2 goals in the game. Vint in, looking for the hat-trick. Vint backhand shot, ran out of real estate as she shot it wide. Bété up the near side, intercepted by Larac. Larac to the far side, McParlin going after it. Rougeau with it. Rougeau has it now for the Canadiennes. She spun off the check of McParlin. Rougeau cuts across the grain in her own zone. Now will backpedal towards her own goal line. And pass it to Willette. Willette off of the stick of Clément Aydra, intercepted there by King. Back the other way, Rattray into the slot. Puck pinballs over to the far side, and a penalty coming up here to the Thunder, I believe. And it is going to be the Thunder. It's a roughing call against Jamie Lee Rattray, who barreled over Carly Hill.
And Amard's misconduct has expired, I believe, as she's skating back over to the Canadienne bench.
So Brampton goes back to the penalty kill. They are 3 for 4 so far in the hockey game with a shorthanded goal. It's not a bad. That's not a bad percentage.
No, not at all. Especially when you throw in that shorty.
Here is Chatna at the right point. Now into the middle of the rink, dishes off to Noémie Marin. Marin backpedaling towards the blue line, approaches the right wing face-off circle. Now back to Chatna. Chatna, give and go, back to Marin. Marin fakes the shot, now wrists it high into the near corner. Aymar, as Robin said, just back out after serving 12 minutes worth of penalties. Plays it down low. Deschênes back to Aymar. Aymar back to Chartrand. Chartrand, right side for Clément Aydra. Back to the blue line. Chartrand wrist shot through traffic. Hits Larac in front of the net. Puck comes back to the blue line. Chartrand with it. Chartrand, Clément Aydra into the slot. Puck rolls off her stick and it comes out to center ice.
I was going to say that almost looked like an intentional move by Clément Aydra to get the puck out to Chartrand, but I don't think that she really meant to do that.
A minute 5 to go in the power play as the Canadiens start to change things up. Caroline Willette over the boards. She takes the pass from Cathy Chartrand. She starts to rush up left wing side. Poulin on the right side with Bété. Willette sidesteps the check of Larac, takes it in behind the net. Willette out the far side, gives it to Poulin at the right point. Poulin mishandled the puck, and the puck comes out to center, so a reset here for the Canadiens. Marie-Philippe Poulin takes it into the offensive zone as McParlin was picked there by Chu. Here is Poulin, far side. Vint battling with her as the puck comes back to Rougeau. Left side for Chu. Chu looking for a pass across. It's intercepted there by McParland. Chu will roll the puck down the ice with 25 seconds to go in the penalty kill for Brampton. But the clock is starting to become of a concern for the Thunder with 3:20 to go in regulation time. Down by a goal. Here's Gougeot into the offensive zone. Willette with a wrist shot! And a good stop there by Howe as she was out of the top of the blue paint to keep the score 3-2.
You can hear the disappointment from the crowd as Marie-Philippe Poulin mishandled that puck on that pass there and just let it squeeze out at the blue line. I would say that Marie-Philippe Poulin has looked human today instead of the usual supernatural hockey player that we're used to seeing. Hopefully this is not a trend that continues.
39-18 of the shots on goal in favor of Les Canadiennes. 10-3 in this third period. A shot by Chatran that almost got through as Brampton will lift it out to center and they will kill off the penalty. Chatran rolls into Jones and Brampton's bench is motivated by that hit as we are inside 3 to go of the third period in a 3-2 hockey game in favor of the Canadiennes. In her own zone, here's Burchard. Up the near side, just out of the reach of Rattray. Chu turns it over. Fortino sends it to drive. Had a good stop by Levante, who was out at the top of the crease to stop it on the turnover by the veteran blue liner for the Canadiennes.
What a good read by Levante. It was clear that Fortino was going for the 5-hole. If I was her, I probably would have gone a little bit high. It probably would have made a huge difference because Levante would have been able to read that shot. Clear passing lane right there, or shooting lane rather.
Stiles, Rattray, and Jones out there up front for Brampton, who wins the faceoff, but Kim Deschênes will poke the puck down the ice. Larac and Edney all on the back end. 2:30 to go in the third period. 3-2 Les Canadiennes. Yesterday, Les Glorieuses won 5-4 in the shootout. Today, they're up by a goal. Here's a steal by Bette. Left side for Deschênes. Back to Bette. Into the slot. Dishes off. Poulin with a shot. Scores! Marie-Philippe Poulin is on the board, and the Canadiens have a 4-2 lead.
She must have heard me, John, just as I was calling her out saying she's looking kind of average today. I mean, I'm sure she felt bad about letting that scoring chance on the power play squeeze out at the blue line. She doesn't really care too much, and she manages to score. I think she has points in almost every single game that she's competed in this season. That would be her 21st goal, 20th goal of the season?
For Poulin, that would be her
20th.
Yep. And actually, I think the only game that she was held off the score sheet so far was the 4-0 win by Brampton on December the 12th. As a timeout is called here by Brampton. So the scoring play, even strength, Marie-Philippe Poulin from Bette and Deschênes at 17:45. We don't need the confirmation on that, as that beautiful tic-tac-toe passing play was set up by the most potent offensive line in the CWHL.
Which is interesting because today, notwithstanding, they are usually in their last stretch together. They have played really well, but today I thought that they weren't at their best.
You see the Brampton bench. Tyler Fines talking things over with his team, and just before that, Danny Brunet and his team along the far side here, the Complexe Sportif Bell in Brassard. And while we've got a moment, let's take a look at the other score in the CWHL today. Actually, we'll get to that on the next break as the puck is played deep into Brampton territory. Marin with it. Marin on the far side, back to the near point for Rougeau. Rougeau takes it to the half wall. 2 minutes to go in regulation time. 4-2, Les Canadiens leading. Rougeau back to the blue line for Chu. Goes around the horn to Willette. Through traffic, a shot. And Marin did not get her stick on the puck as she looked to tip it through the 5-hole. Willette now fires it back in behind Lynette. Chu pinching in from the right point, plays it into the corner. On the far side, that is Clément Edra being locked up against the boards. 95 seconds to go in regulation time. 4-2 the score. Fortino desperately looking to get the puck out of the defensive zone so that they can get Howe to the bench and the extra attackers on. Here comes Howe. Here comes Brampton. Fortino in. Fortino goes wide. Slams the brakes onto the right wing corner. With 1:15 to go, she plays it back to the blue line. It's tipped out to center. Here's Larac with it. Larac at her own blue line. Almost had her pocket picked there as she leaves it there for Jess Jones. Jones to Fortino. Back to Jones on the right wing side. Pocket picked by Poulin just inside the Canadienne blue line. Here's Bette. Bette at center. She'll roll it up the left side. A minute to go in regulation time. 4-2, Les Canadiens on top. Here is Rattray. Rattray In over the blue line, wrist shot goes over the blocking arm of Labonte. 45 seconds remaining in regulation time. Puck clear to the blue line, kept in by Larac. Larac at the right wing side. Montgomery down low, leaves it there for Rattray. Rattray being pressed up against the glass by Carly Hill and Ann-Sophie Bette. Poulain knocked down from behind by Styles as Bette will get it to the blue line. She's spun around and she'll play it down the ice. Deschênes tries to steal from Larac to seal the game as the puck is passed ahead for Jones, intercepted by Bette. Bette has it, empty net. Bette holding, shooting, scores! And Sophie Bette, 5-2 Montréal. And the Canadiennes will extend their win streak to 11 games with the 5th goal of the night. Bette's first of the game, and Ann-Sophie's 15th of the campaign. Time of the empty netter, 19 minutes and 44 seconds. So Perov, Bacchia, and Blais, Saunders and Chu out there for Montreal. Richards, King, McParlin, Birchard, who has it, and Fortino, as the Canadiens will win the season series against Brampton 5-1. As time expires here in Brossard, a 5-2 Canadiens victory in a game that saw all kinds of wackiness and entertainment here this afternoon as the fans rise to their feet, saluting the hometown Canadiens in their victory over Brampton. With the win, the Canadiens will improve to 18-2 on the season. As we mentioned, an 11-game win streak now. They've won 10 straight at home, with their final 2 home games coming up in a couple of weeks' time against Boston. And for Brampton, they fall to 14-6-1. They are still in 3rd place in the CWHL with 29 points, 1 point back of the Calgary Inferno. Montreal increases its lead atop the CWHL by 6 points on Calgary, and that means next weekend with 3 points, they would run Calgary out of points and clinch first place overall in the CWHL heading into the Clarkson Cup playoffs beginning in about 3 weeks' time. Take a quick rundown of the scoring summary in today's game. And we begin in the first period. Marie-Philippe Poulain, her 20th of the season on the power play from Caroline Ouellette and Julie Chu at 16:06. But then 20 seconds later, Vint scores for Brampton, her 13th of the season to tie things up. And that's where we were after 1 period of play. Shots on goal in the first period, 13-5 in favor of Montreal. Caroline Ouellette, Lorraine Rougeau with a blast, her 2nd of the season for the left point at 18:55 of the 2nd period from Kim Deschênes. That makes it 2-1 after 40 minutes of play. Shots on goal, 12-7. And that's where we stood after 2 periods of play. The shots on goal, 12-7 in favor of Les Canadiennes. And after 2 periods, it was 25-12 in favor of Montreal, the shots on goal. In the 3rd period, this is where things get crazy, as Vint and Poulain are named the players of the game. Caroline Ouellette at her 13th of the season, shorthanded at 3:24, give the Canadiens a 3-1 lead. But 2 minutes and 19 seconds later, the Thunder come back and make it a 1-goal hockey game, this time shorthanded. Vint, her 2nd of the game, 14th of the season at 5:45. And then Marie-Philippe Poulain puts the game away at 17:45 of the season, her 2nd of the game, 21st of the campaign, with the helpers going to Bette and to Kim Deschênes, and then Ann-Sophie Bette into the empty net. Rounds out the scoring. 5-2 your final score here this evening in Brossard. Shots on goal in the 3rd period in favor of the Canadiens, 13 for a game total of 42, and for Brampton, 4 for a game total of 19. The final score again, 5-2 in favor of the Canadiens. As we mentioned, the Canadiens now sitting on an 11-game winning streak, and I know that Robin Robin is down there somewhere, rinkside, standing by with Vint, who has 2 goals for Brampton. Robin?
Thanks, John. I'm here with the third star of the game, Rebecca Vint, who had 2 goals today. Why do you think you guys weren't able to really get the win?
I think that we just weren't clicking like we wanted to. There was a lot of kind of misplays, but overall, I don't think we played bad. I just don't think we got our lucky chances that they got on most of theirs.
Seems like a lot of the Canadiennes players really get under your guys' skin. Is there anyone in particular that you really don't look forward to playing when you play Montreal?
Not necessarily. I feel like I get under a lot of people's skin, so I kind of look at it both ways, so I just kind of let it go. Like, yeah, there's always probably one player each game, but it's never really the same person.
At the beginning of the game, we saw Liz Knox come out, looked like she got hurt, and then you brought in Howe. Do you know how she's doing?
I know she's hurt right now. I don't know her status, so I don't want to say anything that's not true. So,
all right, on to the next one. Thanks so much, Rebecca.
Yeah, thank you.
Back to you, John.
Thank you very much, Robin Flynn. So Rebecca Vint, the third star in today's game. The second star, Marie-Philippe Poulin, and Caroline Ouellette, the game's first star, as les Canadiens skate to a 5-2 victory over the Brampton Thunder to extend their lead over the Thunder by 7 points between first and third place, and the Canadiens win the season series 5-1, outscoring Brampton 22-13. So that's the season series between these two teams heading into the Clarkson Cup playoffs. And again, there will be a best-of-3 series coming up, and that's why it's so critical for these teams to finish in 1 or 2, because they will host all 3 games of the semifinal round before heading to Ottawa for the Clarkson Cup Championship in mid-March. So we're just waiting for the Robin's next interview coming up here in a few moments' time. And it may very well be Charlene Labonte, as we're just waiting for that to occur. A reminder, our next broadcast here on CWHL Live comes your way next Saturday night when these Canadiennes travel to Calgary to take on the Inferno in what it will be a battle for first place. If Calgary sweeps, they will have a chance to finish first overall in the CWHL. However, the Canadiennes, if they pick up 3 points, they run Calgary out of points on the season and will clinch the regular season championship for the second time in 3 seasons. Elsewhere in the CWHL this afternoon, the Toronto Furies defeat the Boston Blades 5-2 in Toronto. They outshot Boston 54-23 as Zamora opened up the scoring in the hockey game in the first period from Jess Vela. Then Toronto takes a 2-0 lead. Carrie Telly from Katie Gaskin. At 1:45 of the second period, the Blades get on the board. Drew Burns with a goal on the power play. Megan Myers and Christina Brown at 8:13. And that got the score back to 2-1. Corey Shivery extends the lead to 3-1 from Natalie Spooner and Michelle Bonello. And that made it 3-1. But Megan Myers, her second point of the game from Christina Brown at 12:16 of the second period, makes it 3-2 after 40 minutes of play. Emily Fulton and Natalie Spooner scoring. Natalie Spooner scoring shorthanded into the empty net at 18:56 to round out the scoring. 5-2 the final score in Toronto this afternoon as the Blades fall to 1-21 on the campaign. So, Robin Flynn, your final thoughts on what was a very entertaining hockey game here in Brossard this afternoon?
I think that we saw some difficulty from Les Canadiennes, particularly in the second period. It seemed to take a while for that first line to really come alive. Once they did, though, there was no stopping them. They walk out with a 5-2 lead. Or 5-2 win, I should say. I wouldn't say that they completely dominated this game. I thought Brampton played well. And if these two teams have to meet in the playoffs, that could be very difficult for Montreal.
So thank you very much, Robin Flynn. The Canadiennes' next home games are on Saturday, February 20th and Sunday, February 21st against the Boston Blades. The Saturday game at 5:30 is our next broadcast from Montreal, as we will be wrapping up the regular season on CWHL Live that Saturday afternoon, and then the season finale at home on February 21st. Our next broadcast, as we mentioned, come your way next weekend as Montreal travels to Calgary for a pair of games here on CWHL Live on Saturday night, an 8:15 puck drop. Eastern Time, 6:15 Mountain. And then on Sunday, it's a 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Time game on CWHL Live. So the final score today from Brassard, Quebec, the Canadiennes de Montréal defeat the Brampton Thunder by a final score of 5-2. On behalf of our entire ISI Live crew here in Montreal, and my color commentator, Robin Flynn, this is John Bauer bidding you so long from Brassard. We'll talk to you on the 21st. Tonight's game on CWHL Live has been brought to you in part by Scotiabank, by Canada's Dairy Farmers, Fueling Women Champions, by Winsport Canada, Sportsnet, Bauer Hockey, Tim Hortons, Toyota, The Globe and Mail, Molson Coors, Bridgeforce, Porter Airlines, Gong Show Gear, OMGs, the Calgary Flames, the Toronto Maple Leafs, and the Montreal Canadiens.